cold turkey on everything. Came out of the hospital, though I was like severely beaten down. My body was wrecked, not to mention my mind and everything else from like stopping the alcohol. And I've always loved hunting so much. I think it's really what carried me through most of it, because obviously I wanted to be there for my family. I want to be there. I want to live for myself, but it was like the love of being outdoors, just chasing those dang critters out west, man. It got in my head.
You are listening to the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast, where we take an all-in, leave no doubt approach to all things adventure hunting. From the big woods to the high country. How about that? Let's learn together as we discuss with our expert guests on what it takes to be successful in the backcountry. I'm your host, Weston Homa. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast. So this week I got on Matt Payne. So Matt, connected with him over the past year or so, just on social media. And I remember hearing him on the Eastman's podcast with Brian Barney. And he just has such an incredible story of, he was just kind of in a rough spot with his physical health and all these things. And it was only about an 18-month transformation. I mean, I'll let you listen in and let Matt tell it. But what kept him going a lot outside of family and friends just to kind of get fit and get healthy was his love for hunting and his dream of getting out in the mountains. So Matt has just, such an inspiring story, and you can hear him tell all about it. And that's why I wanted to get him on, because obviously we talk about backcountry hunting here, love the mountains, love the whole everything about it, but really personal growth, personal development, stories like this, I think can really help people. But really wanted to get Matt on too, because since we had started following each other, we touched base, around end of summer. He told me about he was heading out west and everything. He's from back east, so I could relate to that. And he tagged out on a nice velvet muley buck in the high country, and then tagged out on a bull all in the month of September. So that's just what's so inspiring about it. Matt was someone who he said people were probably calling him crazy, laying in a hospital bed and just in the health situation he was in, but still dreaming about going and hunting the high country. And just through micro wins, daily actions, these small wins every single day, just trying to constantly improve, made it happen and got out there. And he had some other little speed bumps along the way, but just kept focused and made it happen. So just so awesome to chop it up with Matt and hear him tell his story. And I hope you guys really enjoy it. So that's the episode this week. All right, I'm recording here because it's Monday. This one's dropping tomorrow, and it's actually early in the morning. I just went to the gym, just ran home here. I got to clean up and then head into work. So I got 2 more minutes here, and then I got to bounce. But yeah, other things going on. So I got this late cow tag. I just posted about it. So I've been going out on the weekends just to look for a little herd of elk. But this tag, it's in the winter range, low country. It's still 60 degrees here in Idaho. And, the elk aren't really coming off the mountains. So I'm out there just getting on a bunch of deer and just did a lot of driving around on Saturday, Sunday, got up in these hills and did a lot of glassing, but just trying to turn up maybe a resident little herd of elk. I didn't think I'd put this much time on these couple weekends here into a cow tag, but here we are. So I basically got one more weekend with it. Actually, to hunt it privately, you can hunt private land on this tag too, and actually goes for another couple weeks past this weekend. And something I've never really done before, even whitetail hunting back east, talk to landowners, knock on doors. I just always wanted to just public land, run and gun, and that's still what I want to do. But this tag, it's only good for this one unit, not much public at all. So I was like, well, I'm just trying to fill the freezer and see what I can do here. It's not my typical hunt, but, I'll try to make something happen. I'm not going to not hunt this tag, And so I did talk to some landowners and some ranchers, and it was a cool experience. Just trying to be respectful, put a smile on my face, and, have the right intent and everything. And I think I made a couple good connections, so we'll see. There's They own a lot of property up there, and they actually have other people hunting. Want to get them like tagged out first, and hopefully, I get the call. But that's what's going on here. I'm still going to get out on some public this weekend if I don't get a call back from them, and we'll give it our all here. So, yeah, doing some elk hunting and just for this cow tag, and just trying to really ramp up the miles because I have such a year coming up next year that I'm so excited for with some ultras I'm looking at, running Boston in April, and I might even throw an ultra here in the winter. Actually, that's what I'm thinking about, maybe in January. And I got a good 15-mile run in last night. Came off the mountains, did a podcast, and then it gets dark at like 5 o'clock. So that's when I started my long run, and no, it felt good. Knocked out 15 last night, and body's feeling good. Training hard, and just getting ready for next hunting season, really, and just love it. That's all I think about. So. All right, I got to wrap it up here and head into work. So I think that's it. And all right, everybody, let's have a great week. Let's give it all we got. Let's work as hard as we can, and let's run the rack. All right, enjoy this episode here with Matt Payne. Go Hunt has a single purpose: make it easier for hunters to get into the field. Hunting tags are only getting harder to obtain, and Go Hunt is a research platform helping navigate the ins and outs of drawing tags and researching hunts across the West. I've had a Go Hunt membership for years now, and I'm a big fan of the articles written on there by Brady and Trail. The content is next level stuff that has helped me a ton. From animal behavior to archery, they are sharing all the nuggets. I also love the hunt films on YouTube. They are extremely inspirational, and they'll make you want to get out in the mountains ASAP. Check out the Go Hunt Gear Shop, where they have everything you need for this coming hunting season. Use the code RACK, that's RACK, for 10% off eligible items in the shop. And you can use the code RACK for $50 in-shop credit when you join as an insider. So sign up for a membership and immediately get $50 back toward hunting gear. Check it out. You won't regret it. Matt, how we doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Matt, we connected just through social media over the past year or two or whatever, been following along. Yeah, and Matt had a awesome September, so I wanted to get him on and just chop it all up. And I think Matt has a really cool story as well, and just looking forward to, like I said, chopping it up.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's this year's been quite the ride for sure. It's definitely more than I dreamed of could ever happen. Just getting out, getting back to the West this year was a big deal for me because I missed out last year. Just tore the hamstring 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave to go run my mule. Yeah, I drew archery mule deer last year, and I turned 40 last year, and I was like, this is my big year. I'm going to Colorado for a month, and I'm gonna stay till I kill, or I'm gonna I'm gonna give every day I got to it. So that was the plan, and I was actually at an event for whitetail in August with Lone Wolf Custom Gear guys. So I'm on the Lone Wolf team. And I wasn't at the time, but I was just there for their road show. And dude, we had a relay, and I got chose to be in the relay, and I was the last one to go, and I was giving it all in a sprint, and the hammy blew. I completely just it detached it from my pelvis, and like took bone with it too. And I thought it was like obviously at the moment it was awful, but like I thought, you're being a wimp, I could still kind of walk around like hobble, but I got the MRI, and my doctor was like, yeah, we got to reattach this thing. So I thought they were up in the season just up in smoke, so medical exempt. Thank goodness I got a medical exemption, and had to get my doctor to fill out a bunch of paperwork. But Colorado I had to eat the tag. It was either tag or points. So I just ate the money for the tag, and which hurt. And then I got reinstated with points to pre-draw status. So I didn't get any credit for last year at all, other than, giving them the $400, whatever it was, donation. But I was happy to get points back. Coming into this year, dude, I was expecting to get the tag because I had, I drew it last year, so I wasn't. But you just don't know till you got it in your hand, of course, especially these days. Not a hard to get unit, but still 2-3 points, to go on that hunt. Man, when I drew the tag, I was like, it's go time. So I was but there's a lot happened in between. I hate to jump ahead by getting back to the tag, but yeah, I had back surgery in February, so got the leg better, rehabbed it all fall. Just and then I saw a specialist for my back, and I was on crutches for the hamstring. So like by the time I got in with him, it took like
My
it took
gosh, brother.
yeah, it took a year. I've been trying to get in with this guy for over a year. It took that long to get an appointment just because he's a pretty good surgeon for the area. I was wanting some questions answered as far as why my pain was so bad. I was having really bad sciatica nerve, and it just been building over the last few years, and almost debilitating. But I was just like, just deal with it because everybody, didn't realize that. I didn't even realize it was as bad as it was because I just deal with it and go, and because everybody's like, well, you get so much done. It's like, if it hurts that bad, how are you doing all that? And I'm like, it's hurt and sit on the couch or hurt and, go run a 5K. So it's like,
choose your
yeah,
heart, right?
yeah. And it's like,
Choose your
actually, yeah, because a lot of people was like, it's because you run. And it's like, well, that's why your back's trash. It's like, no, my back was trash because I used to be well over 300 pounds and I've ran heavy equipment my whole life. And then just combination, lifestyle, everything is why my back is trash now. It's not from the last 5, 6 years of, being healthy. So, but it does seem like the harder you try, the more you get slapped in the face. So that's just been one thing after another for years. But yeah, the back surgery had to happen. I was having epidurals like in the summer last year just so we could go on our summertime trip. Like we went out to Montana, my wife and I, and so I got in with a specialist. Unfortunately, I was on crutches, and he's like, I can't touch you till after that's solved, after you can walk again. And he said, your worst case times two, because he's anti-fusion. So I had to have a double fusion and from basically my pelvis up. So L4, L5, and S1. So yeah, it's a lot of hardware in me now between reattaching the hamstring and all the back hardware. But I was able to pack out 3 animals this year between my two and a buddy of mine. So it held together, and
Heck
it's
yeah,
been a
you
hard
did.
road since, dude. So just like I said, just getting out there, making the drive out was a win. Just because I'm west, I'm in the man in that thin air, as I say, just so I won just by getting out there, and so I didn't have like super high expectations. I mean, obviously I want to punch tags, but it's one of those. I just got to take everything for what it's worth and do. I didn't know what I was capable of really, as far as you can. I had limited time as far as the training to get back in shape. Luckily, I was in decent shape before hamstring incident because it's been kind of a domino effect, since then. And then I also broke my toe in May, so I dropped a plate on it in the gym. Or actually, I had a 25-pound plate in the gym fall on it. I was re-racking my 45, and a 25 fell off like a foot and a half right down on my big toe. I had running shoes, and so that was nice. So I had that slowed me down. I just packed weight for the first time, and on a Sunday we did about a 7 mile round trip to the river and back, me and my wife, and I put about 20 pounds in my Western pack, and I was like, I'm gonna test this out to see if I can even wear a pack, because where my scars are is like right on that lumbar pad. So I was like, I got to see if I can even wear a pack. And dude, I was so jacked. I was feeling good that day. Pack didn't hurt. I was like, man, we can start backpack training. It's on. And then I dropped that freaking plate on my
Oh,
foot, and I'm like, are
goodness
you are
gracious.
you kidding me? So I just
Yeah.
dealt with it there again, just dealt with the pain, and it's still a pain in the butt. It still like gives me a fit. Like in Colorado when it would get cold, it's like, why's my toe hurt worse than my back or my leg? Anything that I just had surgery on, and this dang toe is the one thing that hurts. But it'll get better. So just got to keep on trucking.
Well, you talk about, man, I actually all that, a lot of that I didn't know, and you talk about
I did. I was
perseverance.
kind of all over the
Yeah.
place there, dude. But sorry,
No,
that's
you're
my
good.
year. My year this last year has just been a whirlwind
Mm-hmm. And
and
still
downward.
having, yeah, still having to put it together in September how you did.
Yeah,
I mean, but it just goes to show, like, when you get kicked in the teeth like that, you just had your focus on once you got out there. It's like, I'm here. I just have so much gratitude for being here, just to be
yeah.
healthy and just make it. I think that's
Oh yeah.
just valuable to think of too.
It is, dude. It's especially like guys coming, from out here. It's such a huge trip, and as you know, it's like it's kind of looked at as it's once in a lifetime to go on elk hunt or mule deer hunt because it's not something. It's obviously not in our backyards, and 30-hour drive or whatever across country, and do it by yourself, it sometimes is that's daunting for most people, and it's scary, really.
Well, I
And
know all about it.
you are the epitome of against the grain on that. So it's awesome to see what you're doing. So, but no, I've not always been like that either. It's like that to me. I always looked at it as something. Maybe I'll go one day. Maybe I'll do it one day, and most guys sit around and one day never comes. It's just like, and then it's like, well, I should have did that while I was younger. It's like that's what you hear all the time. It's like if I was your age, I'd be going. The older guys would tell us that, and we're like, no, we'll do it when we can, and just kind of get in the rut doing which we've had a lot of fun on whitetail trips and still travel for whitetail. It's it's in my blood. So, but as far as that big of a trip, we never thought was attainable, and then finally did do it was over the counter elk tag, I think second season rifle in 2015. And my brother, me, my dad, and a buddy of his, we had a guy we were working for here actually had a cabin out in Colorado, and we thought he was joking. He's like, "Go stay in my cabin and hunt," and we're like, and we just wrote it off as he's kidding. Year went by or whatever, and he's like, "Did you boys put in for elk tags this year?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, "You need to stay in my cabin." So he was serious. So we took him up on it. So that led to us getting out there, which we needed that kickstart. But man, that was before really using OnX or anything like that. So kind of went in, we bought paper maps and just basically used side by sides though. And it was basically a four-wheeling trip, just riding side by sides and learn because the unit's so big. It's like you see it on, TV pictures. It just doesn't do country like that justice till you get in it. And you're like, oh, wow. So elk was almost on the back burner at that point because it was just taking in everything and seeing it for the first time. So no elk on that trip. And then fast forward, it was about 2019 is when I got the itch bad to go west again. And that's I can start the story you're talking about there from there.
Right. I, and I
That
do, and I do want to hear it. I think it's a great story, especially how things have come together now, and I can't wait to see what you do in the coming years too. But kind of that first, I know you had that first trip there, but walk us through kind of where were you at that time with your health and everything,
okay.
and
Um,
yeah,
15, I wasn't horribly out of shape. I mean, I've never been inactive. I mean, because work outside and sports growing up, stuff like that. But so it's still in me. But just lifestyle, I just got heavier and heavier and went up and down several times. From my 20s till 30, and then dude, downward spiral. Around that time, it's not. I don't know really. Um, Particular date. You know how it is. It just culminates. 15 is I was with my wife. She was my girlfriend. We just started dating, I guess, and yeah, and she's my wife now. But so my first trip out, and I was active because I just got with her. So I think once we got more comfortable, the hell, like I wasn't working out really because I was always on and off kind of in the gym. I did a lot in early 20s and lost a lot of weight out of high school because I was always like the chubby kid. So got out of high school and lost like 100 pounds. And steadily 15 years later gained it back. But yeah, we just both, I guess, got comfortable and we both kind of got out of shape, and started gaining weight. I didn't really know it at the time, but my consumption of alcohol was off the charts. It just got to be really out of control, and I had a few little health things, obviously, other than a lot other than gaining so much weight, and just didn't know I felt as bad as I did till I actually felt good. In the recent years, you don't realize that you're that out of shape because you're always like, I can still do stuff. It's not hurting me. It's not, yada, yada, yada. But it took being hospitalized with my pancreas to finally wake me up. And unfortunately, it was like the third time that I was hospitalized with it because the first time was like an overnighter, and then the next one was, a day or two because they have to let your pancreas rest. It's flared up, and severely inflamed and pretty much shuts down. And and then it was serious enough this last time I was in the hospital 6 days. and almost died pretty much. So I had to either really have a come to Jesus meeting with myself, or um, obviously probably not be here right now. So, and I just saw the disappointment on my wife's face. And then obviously others close to me, my dad, brother, and stuff, just because letting them down so many times, probably, it's like it finally hit me that, oh, dude, you do have a bit of a problem, and it's affecting, them. And they wouldn't be in this room. Yeah, they're mad at you, but they wouldn't be here if they didn't care so much about you. So, I promised them and then promised myself that I was fixing it. And dude, cold turkey on everything. Like, came out of the hospital, though I was like severely, severely beaten down from uh, just a hospital stay. Man, a day in the hospital set you back like weeks in recovery. Um, so 6 days worth of it, and then man, I blew up like I don't know, just full of water, water weight, and just the swelling and um, some of my body was wrecked. Not to mention my mind and everything else from like stopping the alcohol and like, I mean, you're talking night tremors, night sweats, the withdrawal symptoms, and it's just not a good place to be in your mind when you know that all you got to do is like take a sip and it fixes it, and you can sleep tonight without nightmares. And I had to deal. There's even still recent memory like times when I have like the night tremors or the just weird stuff, and I haven't touched it, and like I said, since April of 2019. So it's like I've been
Good for
zero,
you,
like
man.
absolute zero, and life changing, man. It's so powerful. And I was scared to talk about it like before I went on with Barney and stuff, but once I did, it made me feel better. And two, it's like I have so many guys like reach out like and say that. And well, I had encouragement beforehand, like they like you need to tell this to people, and because it's like you never know if there's one person, so it's made it worth it, just to have. I've had a handful of guys now, reach out and say that I either helped them with a drinking problem or something else. A lot of guys have lost weight, or one was pre-diabetic, and now he's not on his medication anymore. He's like, dude, I've seen you doing it just every day. And he's like, thought, well, dude, if he can do it, I can do it. So it's like, one or two people is all it takes to really keep you motivated to stay true to your word. And I'm one that's like, if I make a post or something like that, I'm not faking anything. It's like and I don't want credit for it if I didn't do it. It's like with the 5K a day thing. It's just like, it was what I was doing, and for my body gave out. But 3 miles, and you're a runner, so you're gonna probably understand this. It's like I can't just say 3 miles because that's not. You got to go 3.1.
Right, 5K. Yeah.
You
Round
got
up.
to if you're
Yeah.
you can't say you ran a 5K every day if you only ran 3 miles a day. It's like
That's it.
what I'm saying. So,
Yep.
but anyways, dude, at the hospital beat me down. I came home mentally, I'm beat down, and I've always loved hunting so much. Like I think it's really what carried me through most of it. Because obviously I wanted to be there for my family. I want to be there. I want to live for myself. But it was like the love of being outdoors and just setting a goal to do something hard is what got me through like the early stages, and then still gets me up every morning still. It's just chasing those dang critters out west, man. It got in my head. Like I was watching all these videos because I couldn't do anything. I just barely get off the couch here and there, and seeing these goat hunts, sheep hunts, and I'd fell in love my first trip to Colorado with bighorns. Like I never saw one until we went in person, and it was just like, man, never get to hunt one, but that's like my dream animal. So I'm watching all these sheep hunts while I'm down from this recovery, and so I'm like, and then the algorithms start shuffling some mule deer stuff in there because it's the high country rough stuff, and not as much content then as there is now. Yeah, it has blown up. Probably I'm part of the problem. Guys like me that see that that's something cool, hard to do. But man, I started seeing that, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to kill a big muley, but I've never thought about doing it. High country bow, velvet. And I was like, that just became like that's top tier for me. Like, pick that as the hardest thing that I could possibly do personally, and especially like lower 48 stuff. Like probably the hardest bow hunt you could do, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So I started researching and how can I get out? How can I get out west? And in the meantime, I had to get myself in shape because I couldn't even walk on flat ground here, let alone, what I was in for at altitude. So,
Dude, that's just
yeah,
so powerful. Just kind of like where you're at that time, and then thinking about what you want, and like what was going through your mind of like the journey of where you were at, couldn't walk on flat ground to be like, I want to hunt mule deer above tree line in
I,
Colorado.
dude,
Like
I don't know. It's almost
people
this
would call you
crazy
Matt. People will
person.
call you people will call you
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a crazy person talking. And it really was because if you saw me then, or even had a conversation with me, probably like, you're like, no, this guy's full of crap. He's not gonna, can't do that. And I'm just glad that I didn't, for some reason, I didn't see it that way. I guess it's just like I've got to do this, and that was it. And once I'm pretty stubborn, anyways. I really am now after I've added to that stubbornness over the
yeah.
last few. I just was like, I'm doing it, and nothing's getting in my way. And dude, it took till this year to finally do that, but man, it was pretty sweet. But yeah, dude, just it took off, and like I always wanted elk hunt too. So I mean, elks, and it's not like I didn't enjoy that either. So it's like I was wanting to get back out for both. And yeah, like I said, the mule deer, I think it's not really picking one animal over the other. It's just it's where you kill them. It's where you got to go to do it. It's just something about being on top of the world. Like you feel like you really are on top of the world. And I don't know. Kind of get chills just thinking about it sitting here too. You're taking me back. It's been like it feels like my hunts. This September feels like a year ago already. It's like it's so long ago, and it's just like, man, I don't want those memories to get vague on me. And it's just like, man, I love everything about it. And then once I got out there, I actually got a tag in 2020. I pulled a muzzleloader tag because I started looking. I wanted to go in with a bow, and I was looking. I had decent chance with zero. I could definitely draw on one. So I was like, I'll put in, and the units I got go hunt at that time and started just like going all over the place, like with the tag research. And I have a buddy that I grew up with, one of my best friends, all through high school, or grade school, high school, everything. He actually lives in Colorado now. He has for 20 years, I guess. So I talking to him about it, and I was going to hunt, kind of a unit close to him. So we were, kind of have a home base, and then, have that because I was like, I might have to do this solo because I didn't know anybody that wanted to go with me or that, lots of people say they will, but it's like that's a pretty big commitment to go cross country and dive off into the mountains.
A lot of people will say they
But
will. Yep,
yeah,
I know.
exactly. I
I
hear
know
it
that
every day.
too. Yep.
But yeah, but he's like, dude, if you'll go with a muzzleloader, he's like, I burned my points last year because he drew a pretty good tag the year before. He's like, if you'll go with muzzleloader, he's like, I can pick that up even on. He says my second choice. He said start. I'm like, oh sweet. So actually, um, dude, I drew the muzzleloader tag and went out first day. We're out there. I'm on my way to there, and that's when that year it snowed like I don't know, a ton in the unit I was in. So we were afraid we weren't
And
even
this
going to
was
be able to get
September,
in.
right? September
September,
muzzleloader.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy snowstorm
Yeah.
hit. And because I was actually driving in and I woke up in snow, like all of New Mexico was white. And I was like, I never thought the first time I saw Texas, New Mexico, like there was actually a little skiff of snow in like Texas where I'd spent the night. I'm like, wow, first trip this direction, and um,
Crazy.
seeing snow in September. So I was like, what am I getting myself into driving
Yeah, and you're
cross
down there.
country?
You're about to
Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
10,000 foot higher.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm like, this is nuts. Cross country by myself. But my buddy and a buddy of his had tags, and his buddy was actually that he worked with. He's a little older than us, and it was kind of his little honey hole. So he's like in the unit, and dude, he's so awesome for him to share it with us because you don't usually show guys your spots, but he was one that he said I've hunted solo for so many years. He's like he said I think it's awesome to have somebody go with me. So it's he just wanted to have camp, and we camped on the mountain. That was the first time I'd ever got to sleep like multiple days, backpacked in somewhere. So just in the snow caps everywhere. And it's like living in a dream, for that first hunt
What was
and
going
making
through
it
your
up there.
mind too, with like everything you had done, and now you're there, like you're
Dude,
doing. I know, because
it
I know
was,
you were listening to the podcast, you were doing it all, and like that's kind of how I was when I
oh,
started. Like
oh yeah.
when you're
I
finally
skipped.
there, then doing it, it's like, oh my god, I'm like one of these guys. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The point from getting in 19, like this is April of 19 when I get out of the hospital, to September of the following year was it's pretty crazy transformation,
I
really.
didn't know it was that fast too, dude. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah. From
Yeah,
19, and then I did my first hunt in 20. So in a year's time, by like April of 20, I was already down like close to 100 pounds. Like I dropped it. And dude, it went from I started doing, I was like, I was doing a lot of elliptical stuff, walking. And then I was like, I'm going to jog because I hate it. I always hated running. And I was always bigger in school. And it's like, we had to do the mile. I dreaded that, dude. You just get stomach and knots because we're going to run the mile today. You know, just in high, it's like, dude, you're in high school. You should be able to just like zizz one out easy. So it's like, but anyways, I hated running. So I'm like, I'm going to start running because I hate it. And dude, I like the way it made me feel afterwards. Like I was too big to be running. I've actually was told that by a few doctors. And like, I don't see those doctors anymore either. Because I was like, oh, you're a little big to be running every day. And I'm like, well, I'm never coming back to you again. It's like, so um, don't tell me I can't, kind of mentality.
yep.
But man, it turned into, I'm like, I'm going to try to get 3 miles in or a 5K is kind of what I started with. Like, I'm going to do this every other day and see if I can do it. And I was able to make that happen for the most part. So I'm like, then it turned into, 2 out of 3 days I was getting that in. And it's a lot of jog walk stuff. It's not like I took off and was like turning 25-minute 5Ks in the beginning, So, you know what I
Still,
mean? But yeah, it's like, but it was the distance. And I don't know why, like a lot of days I'd have been better off to do shorter or a lot longer, maybe walk and, just more variation. But it was working and I started losing weight and man, just the diet just kept getting, at first seemed super strict and I look back at it now and it was like pretty lenient, especially as far as food quality and stuff goes. But that's kind of how you got to do it. It's like, it's overwhelming to look at it in the big picture. It's all that macro, it's just daily little micro decisions, dude. But I became a food Nazi like for so long. Like everybody's like, you can cheat. And it probably would have done me well to have a cheat meal here and there because I started going like, I was super low carb. It's kind of how I found out I would function. And I wasn't eating dirty like though. I wasn't eating the dirty like keto. I was still eating this like clean stuff. And I would eat a lot of fruits and veggies. That's where the sugar came from. But man, I got so hard into it. I would not even allow myself like one piece of pizza or like here in the South, sweet tea obviously is huge. So it's like I don't think I've had tea since shortly after quitting alcohol either. So it's like I even
well,
quit
yeah,
that stuff. So it
yeah.
wasn't just I was dealing with like the alcohol issues. It's like I quit my entire lifestyle completely. I didn't eat the same, I didn't drink the same.
All that stuff. And
So
and dude,
yeah,
I think the silver lining here too is like taking it to the extent that you did and getting all those
yeah.
results physically. Dude, you built your mental like so
Oh,
much. And that's
I
a
had
requirement too to backpacking on these hunts as well.
Oh, that's
So,
that's where it came from. It's just built year after year after what I dealt with in the hospital, and then obviously to come off of something like alcohol is like mentally. I and I don't want to brag like on myself because I really don't see how I done it at times because I won't say I didn't struggle, but it wasn't the craving for the drink per se. It was just other mental instabilities just all over the place, hormones and just I mean it's hard. And most people crack. That's the reason you see a lot of people. It's hard to do it and sustain it. So I had to add, I guess I'm glad the fitness and the hunting is almost that's my addiction, now. You've kind of got to with an addictive personality, you don't turn that off. You kind of just you've got to replace it. And, at least it's much better habits now than before. So, And
You can
probably a
it's like
little,
a hammer. It's like a hammer. You
yeah.
can build a house with it or you can beat the hell out of somebody with it. Like
So I
you
think
can
my
just use it for
personality
good.
type, yeah, my personality type probably helped me stay so strict on the diet and with the fitness. And it's like if, with the gym, I just would not miss a gym session, would not miss a run. If I was supposed to run, if I was even doing every other day, if it was a day I had to run, like I was antsy until that was over. It's like if I got it in before work, awesome. That's the best case. If not after, and then there were some days though I was even getting to the point. It's like I'll just not take lunch break. I'll go ahead and do this run. So then I'm in a good mood the rest of the day because I don't have this to worry about getting done. It's like I had to do it. It's like I couldn't talk myself, because I was not going to allow myself to, let myself slide for a day. And, and then every year, I think just taking it up a notch. Feel like you're not doing more, but you look back at where you start, until to now, and it's like, oh well, oh, yeah, I've came a long way. But
Dude, yeah.
but in the
And
beginning, it's just as hard. Like a mile in that beginning was, I remember the first time I went 10 miles, and was thinking, man, But I remember when a mile was harder than 10 miles, And now I'm hoping to get back to that at some point, but that's another story. But we're getting there. So
there you
yeah,
go.
I've been I've been in rehab for a year now, so it's just
That's
like
tough, I'm
I
sure.
mean it sucks to lose your wheels, and that's something people don't talk about a lot. Is like people talk about how hard it is to get up and go do something. It's like it's hard to not be able to do something. You if you run, so I know like if you
I
can't
and
run for a
Yep,
few days,
I broke my ankle this winter.
that
I was
sucks.
no weight bearing for like whatever over 2 months, and you talk about a mental, yeah. But I learned a bunch of
That
lessons
sucks,
there.
dude.
That's a different podcast. But
I think, yeah, I think it's good. I look back now and I appreciate, obviously, it kind of sucks still that I had to go through all the crap I did, but it's, I do appreciate it because I just wouldn't have that grit or that go get it. I just wouldn't have it if I hadn't went through. It sucks. It took so many hard things to get me to that point. 2019 was hard. And then 2020, 21. Man, I started firing on all cylinders. I was like turning into a machine. Like in 21, that's the year we got married, and we went to Montana, eloped in Montana at Glacier. So, man, at that time point, I was like throwing down like pretty good for me because
nice.
it being always being the fat kid, and then here I am, late 30s at that time, like running, double digit miles on a regular basis. And I was just like, I still like hard on myself. I didn't give myself any credit, but looking back, I was like, now that's where I want to get back to, at the time I was thinking I was still just a, you know, chubby slob, didn't know what he was doing,
No, but now
but
you can
yeah,
do it.
dude, yeah. And, but then just started having a few little breakdowns, like just joint issues here and there,
Yeah.
and then not giving myself enough rest. Like I have learned that you do have to take the pedal off the gas every now and then, but with my personality, it's like it's all or nothing. So it's like
Hmm.
I'll go the wheels fall off, and I've proved that a few times now. So ended up with a stress fracture, I guess, in 22 or 23. Yeah, I broke my foot. Ended up break. I kept running on it. It hurt like crazy. I kept running, and I was at work stretching my calf one day and just propped my foot up on a bar just to do a calf stretch and felt it pop like I finished breaking it. And I was like, and it was the day before turkey season, so I was just like, man, I'm not going to the doctor tomorrow. I'm going turkey hunting. So I actually missed a bird that day too. So it was another slap in the face. Like I don't know how I missed a turkey with my shotgun like that close.
Dang.
It does happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I found out foot was broke, so I'm in a walking boot for 8 weeks or whatever it was, and that started jacking me up, man. And I think that's what escalated the back problems. So it's just been,
Okay.
so that took a lot away from me with the broke foot, but I bounced back fairly quick. But then, man, going down with my hamstring and then the back, and I guess every little thing that happened though, it looks like it's like I couldn't have handled the back as bad as it was if I hadn't have did like that first like foot break or something, because
Yeah.
mentally that almost really got me just by not being able to run, because I was doing it at that point I was running every day. It was a 5K a day or at least, And most weeks it was 7 days. I'd always get 6 days in. Like I was, for the unless during hunting season and stuff it slowed obviously because certain days. But man, and that hurt me mentally with the ankle or the foot deal, kind of like you were saying with the ankle. And you learn some stuff, and it's like, I think for me, I was afraid to go backwards because I'd worked so hard to get delete the old me, and I did not want him slipping in at all. It's scary kind of, and just sitting around with nothing to do. And yeah, so
But so
but
you
then I
learn.
realized, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you learn from those experiences though, because and I relate to what you're saying a lot. But like you have to think about, you're not going to fall back to the old you, even though you have another injury or health scare or
Yeah,
something, because the new you knows what to do now, and like you've
yeah.
given yourself the evidence that you can get
Well,
back on the horse.
that's
So
what I
it's,
learned
yeah, you
after the
can't beat
broke
yourself up.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I learned after that. It was like, okay, because I went right back in. It's like it's actually all I thought about while I was down. It wasn't going further down. It was like getting back up. It's like to start climbing out of the hole. And once I was like, okay, it's in you now. It's like it's not going anywhere. But you do have to keep it, sharpened though. It's just like with the
Oh yeah.
I started doing the cold plunge thing, and I was doing that, and that was before I was doing it last year. And man, once I stopped because of having surgeries and stuff, it's just like that's something that's so hard to even make yourself do again. It became like clockwork before, and it's like I know I can do it, so now I've got to start, getting back on that train again here soon. But uh,
Just
it's just
finding
little
little
things,
ways to
those
sharpen the
little
metal.
ways.
Yeah.
But I was like, you notice yourself, you will get soft, is what I'm saying. It's like you will starting to soften a little bit. It's like on these hunts, it's like I'm glad we actually, dude, we had some weather this year, and I saw it all, I think, in Colorado. And I guess you did too, because you were out about the same time I was.
I was in the beginning of September. Yeah, we didn't get weather too bad where I was,
Okay.
but this is what I want to transition to now into these hunts because I mean, take a step back though, man. I know you dealt with some injuries and everything, but you know, dealing with like from where you were, losing 100 pounds, really, then like in a year and a half going on your first Western hunt. I think there's a lot of people listening, or maybe listening now that are like, I need to lose weight or I need to do this. Like, what do I need to do or I can't or like one day? Well, it's like that's what's cool about some social media and some podcasts and stuff because people
Yeah.
can just look at you, Matt. It's like Matt had it at the extreme and in a year and a
Yeah.
half did something totally different and or like just made it happen. And then now here we are, dude. You put together and it was you've been going out for years and I know it's tough. First couple of years I had a hard time, but you got a couple animals on the ground this September and I just
Yeah.
love kind of now like from where you were, everything you had to do, this whole journey, and then to put to the September you together like how you did was just awesome to see. I remember you sent me the picture of the deer, and I was
Yeah.
just so stoked for you. And then when I saw you post the picture of the bull, and I don't want to spoil anything, I was just like so pumped for you, dude. So give
Dude,
a
my
little
mind
bit,
is
yeah,
still mind blown, man.
yeah. Walk us through September for you, man.
Okay, so had the archery mule deer tag as we talked earlier. With that was still going to be my like primary focus. Like that was my, you know, that's been my dream. It's just like because last year missed out, didn't go west at all. Year before I was out hunted. I didn't draw a deer tag. I put in thinking I would get it, didn't get it. So I went OTC elk that year with a buddy in a different unit, and dude, we were on the mountain for 3 days, and he got sick, started feeling rough, and we got him home, and long story short, like I got it too, ended up home and back home and on the couch for like a week. So flu, COVID, something. So it was awful. So I had 3 days that year. So last year missed out completely. So this year, I just like
Ready?
I'm going. They're like, when you coming back? And I'm like, when September's over. I'm
I don't
like,
know.
my daughter's birthday is September 30th, and she actually turned 18 this year. And I was like, I'll be back for her birthday, but it'll be September 30th if it has to be.
Yeah, night before. Yeah.
So, dude, I just So I go out, and I'd actually bought a van this year, which is just so random, one of those Sprinter vans.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I had an F-150 and traded it in on this van, and that truck was like my favorite thing ever that I've had. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live out of this sucker. And we've always wanted one, and it was a blank slate on the inside, so got into it at a lot, lot cheaper than I thought you could. So it made sense to me. And so just fixed a bed in it and threw a cooler in there and some toolboxes, and here's my house for September.
Sick.
And
Yeah.
you know, so anyways, I get out. I wanted to be there a few days before I went, but I was like, I knew I would. I was already pushing it, staying gone that long, so I showed up. I think a couple days before season started. Because second part of the story is the elk tag drew on a second choice actually, so and that made me feel better too because I didn't really want two tags, but I wanted two tags, but I didn't want one to take away from the other because if you get sidetracked a little bit. I wanted like tunnel vision mainly on this deer,
Oh
but
yeah.
I didn't want to not do the elk tag justice either because we put in as a group, and that was with my brother and one of my best friends from growing up with. Like we do a lot of hunting together, and they'd never been. My brother had been on that one trip in 2015, but like I said, no elk, and didn't really learn much about elk hunting. We just learned what the West looked like a little bit. So I was excited because we had that tag, and they were going to wait and come about mid-month. So that was the plan. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a couple weeks and go hard for deer. But in the meantime, as well, my buddy that lives out there drew the early rifle tag in the same unit that I had the bow tag in, and it started sooner than I thought. I thought it started, that muzzleloader week because when I was out there with a muzzleloader before, we had ran into a guy with the rifle tag. Because like, how has this guy got a rifle and we're carrying open sight muzzleloaders around?
Yeah, I
But
think
so
it can kind of vary where those units are that have
yeah,
that. It's not always the
yeah,
same day. It's not like the
right,
statewide archery opener.
right, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this one was open actually, earlier in the month. So I was
Okay.
like, but I was like, at least it's in the same unit. And I was like, well, I'll go solo a few days, kind of scope a few places out, and at least if there's one doable that I can do, then I'm hunting. And then I was kind of scouting for him too because we're looking for a big deer with the rifle tag. Because I talked to one guy, it took him about I think 10 points as a resident to draw that tag, but my buddy drew it on 5 or 6, so he got super lucky and drew it 10-year tag basically in half the time. But anyways, so I go in the day before season. I'm planning on packing in from a trailhead I was familiar with. It actually was the area the first year first time I'd ever been in solo at all by myself. I'd been to this spot, so I kind of felt comfortable going back in, and just one of those things, kind of familiar with it, and see how my body was because I was like, I'm gonna acclimate a little bit before I said I got a month of hunting hopefully to do. So I'm like, I can't blow myself up the first 3 days, and that's easy to do in that country, like
Well, I
super
know.
easy to do. You can overdo it by not doing anything. Altitude's rough. So I get there, and this is Labor Day weekend, of course, right before Labor Day. And man, the recreation in this unit's pretty high, which a lot of Colorado is. So it's like there's
Yeah.
just hikers and bikers, and just the unit's just crawling with people.
And you love
And
seeing people out and about, but it's like
yeah,
not
yeah, it's
here.
like no, yeah, not on the opener of Muley.
I
It's
know.
like
Yeah. We
come
had
back
some
in two
hikers.
weeks.
We had a good
But
bit of
yeah,
hikers.
oh man, yeah, I've had a few missed opportunities with
Hmm.
hikers, but it is
Part of
what
the
it
game.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's like we may ruin their hike if they see us hunting, so it works both ways.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I the trailhead's full, and I'm like, man, where I was kind of wanting to scope out this basin, because I was going to drop into it kind of from the upper end. I was like, everybody hiking has got to be going like right by there, so I was like, it's not like I could just. And I was like, I don't want to put a lot of effort to going further because I wasn't too confident in that as far as what it looked like. And then just body wise, I didn't want to get too carried away. So I was like, well, I'll just stay here close where I can day hunt a little bit. And it changed my plan completely from what I That's the reason you got you got your A plan, B plan, C plan, and then it's like it goes out the window
Oh yeah.
sometimes. It's like I got there and I was like, I just had a feeling. I was like, I'm gonna camp right here at the van. I was like, I can sleep in the mountains. I can glass for deer from here because I was actually in a pretty good looking spot, like that I could hike to. I had a short hike, from to a vantage point from where I was actually camped. So it's like, so it's not. This wasn't my dream, of being packed in 2 days and glass one up the day before the opener, and have him dead opening morning. That's what you dream about. But
Right.
so I was like, but we're still in the high country, still glassing for deer, and I was like, it's one of those don't pass deer to go find deer. It's like if there's
Take what
deer
they give
here,
you, man.
I was like, if there's
Yeah.
deer here, hunt them because I saw if there's nobody. And then so like the first evening I glassed, I spotted a buck and a better buck and another buck, and I'm like, why is there nobody looking at this? Like nobody was like, I was the only guy looking at it, and I'm like, okay, so I'm hunting deer now. I was like, and if you, it's a good place because if somebody does move in on me, it's like I can carry on because I'm not packed in, 5 miles and then somebody blow your spot up because that's happened too. And it's just part of it, but it sucks. It's like I can regroup faster from here. So I watched bucks that evening. I think the buck I ended up getting was in a group that I saw, and I saw a couple. I know I saw some solid 60s to 70 type deer, and one that was probably he was probably mid 70s, maybe better, but he's at, you're looking through. I got the tiny vortex, the little spotter. So I mean, even through that spotter, and then zooming in best I could with the phone, it's like it's still hard to tell, but
Yeah.
big deer for me, huge for me.
Oh,
So it's like,
no, I know.
dude, you could just see he was old, man. He had to sway back and just that big, heavy up front. Just you could tell he's just old and had that hump on his back. He's just old and man, I was
Dude,
like,
they're
dude.
incredible to watch, aren't they?
I was, oh man, but just sitting back for those couple of days, like I got to watch them, like the different elevation lines they were using and how they moved from one part, one little spine to the next, and just what they were feeding in, and then they were starting to shed, like velvet was coming off even then, like which was a little earlier than previous years I've been out, I think. But man, just they get in the brush and just start, it's just fun to watch them do every little thing and learned a ton about it just in the 2 days of glassing. And I'm sitting here and I watch a guy. Actually, I finally see a guy moving across the hillside because I was sitting there and it was a little bit early in the evening, and these four bucks go across, the top of the chute, and I'm like, it's a little early for bucks to be moving because. Like, and then I caught one moving faster because they weren't moving at this point. They'd already slowed down. And then I realized what had happened. This guy was in there and bumped them. I don't know if he didn't see them or was going to stalk another deer or trying to get to these, but I mean, they were above him. So it's like his thermal went, right up to him. And I was like, so I got to watch him make that mistake. So that actually pushed him closer from my vantage point because I was further, toward the top of the basin, the higher end of the basin. And so I just watched them till dark. And I was like, I bet these bucks stay high tonight up this way because the way the directional was coming, even with the dropping thermals, I figured it would, it was pushing up, so their direction. So, and I guessed right because the next morning I actually moved. I'm like, I'm not just going to sit in a vantage today. I moved my vantage. I was afraid I'd lose a little bit of what I could see, but I was like, I'm going to be closer if I could make a play. I just had a feeling for some reason, like I was planning on just watching a couple more days, but I'm like, I'm getting in a game today. Plus, I felt the pressure. I guess I saw that other guy. I never saw him come back or anything. He's like, almost was like, put the pressure on me to make a move.
Oh yeah.
And so I relocate them at daybreak, and they're right almost where we left them the night before. They're out, just in just a little bit of green stuff left in the avalanche chute. So that's where they're at. And so I'm like, man, it'd be nice if they bed pretty soon. They started feeding down, down the basin a little bit. And I was thinking, for some reason, I was just in my mind, I was like, I can follow these bucks and keep tabs on them because just the way the terrain laid, I was like, I think I can get closer. I wanted to see how good that good buck was because he was probably 160s or better. There was a pretty good one in there. And I was wanting to see, for one, if I could get close enough for like my buddy's rifle tag coming up. I was like, let's just see if we can even get in like rifle range, like what I would consider rifle range. And so peep over, and I'm like 350, 400 from him. So I'm like, oh man, if he was here, done, you know? So I'm just like, I'm just kind of in shock that I'm on bucks this quick, and I'm actually kind of like playing the game because it's just like, I don't know, to go back and think about it. And man, everything that day was just like, every step of that day, if I'd have changed something, I don't think it would have worked out like it did because of the timing, you know? And I held up at times for like reasons I can't explain. And then at times my foot was just like, go, 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 you know? You got to, you know, and but you hear guys talk about that gut feeling, and you almost wonder, well, how do you don't know, you can't explain that, you know? And I don't know how to tell any guys that that's the key to it, but like, if you're out there long enough and you do it long enough, I think you start to just develop it a little bit. And obviously, my gut's wrong a lot more than it's right, you know.
And I had
And
multiple times. This was
yeah,
my first year. I've hunted mule deer with a rifle, but this was my first year in the high country, early September, in Colorado, doing stalks, like doing glass them up stock, doing the thing. Yeah, learning when to go and when to slow
yeah,
down, when to stop. Well, I screwed it up a bunch of times. Finally had it all come together, but it's I'm sure I'm gonna screw it up a bunch more times. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. I think it just comes with, you just got to get the
yeah.
reps.
It
Yeah.
is, it is, and dude, it's almost like a looking back on that day, it's like a flow state came over or
Yeah.
something because it's
Yeah.
almost like a dream looking back at it. Because I just remember, I mean, I remember watching and waiting for thermals and just, watching the birds because they'll come out, they'll just hover, when they're just sitting there floating, you're getting that, that good upward on, and and then clouds would come over and change the direction of it a little bit. And it's just like, because I knew there were so many bucks around, I was following like 6 bucks. They was like, they're just in different little pockets. And, um, I actually lost tabs on the bigger one because they kind of started heading to bed first. And then I think my buck and a couple more decent bucks, and then some smaller, forkies and stuff. They were just all over. And so I'm trying to like keep up with these deer, but like not get too close because there's so many eyes. And so, so as soon as they would go across the rise, I knew all was clear. I would just kind of just boogie right behind them, and trying to stay in the shadows best I could, and just always just constantly with the wind, because I either got the puffer or like, because whitetail hunting I use like the milkweed, take milkweed with me, and just constantly just trying to learn, like, because you get in those folds, and it's because I'm over on this hillside now, or mountainside, that I was looking at from half a mile away the day before. It's like it looks a little different when you're actually on the hillside, all the
Yeah.
little folds, and there's actually a few more benches than you realize. Or it's like that's why deer disappear like they do when you're glassing them, because it's just like, man, there's so many places for them to hide.
Buck I shot
And
this year was in this like little, we were calling it like a wash, and I didn't really notice that in the spotter till I was up there. I was like, oh shit, I can be right above him. He's in this wash. Had no
yeah,
idea. That's kind of how I was able to get him. But like, there's so much truth to what you're saying.
oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
there's so much you can't tell until you get up there.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking at these, and I almost lost the deer at this point because I couldn't find any movement. And I was kind of looking around thinking, I'm already over here. I could almost just set up for the evening, because they had fed like right below where I was standing at this moment. I'd watched them for like 2, 3 sits behind glass, feed through right around that elevation, and I was like, if nothing else, I'm a whitetail guy. I can kind of just mix the two styles here. I'm not stalking per se, but like I set myself up with a good wind, guessing on what they'll do this evening, but I'm
Hmm.
sure they're going to feed. Wind was consistent with the day before, so I'm like, there's no reason for them not to just feed like they did yesterday. So as I'm contemplating that, I look and I see like a forky moving. So I'm like, oh, okay. So we're back in the game a little bit with the deer. And so I just hunkered down for a bit. Ended up finding, I see my buck, the one I ended up shooting. Like I see him, and I'm like, pretty impressive. I'm like, he's not big, but he's not small. I'm like,
He's a good looking
I,
buck too.
I was like, dude, if I get a chance at him, because I'm at this point, I'm probably a couple hundred yards from him and almost the same elevation as him. He'd been feeding, and I think he just came back around a little point, and I could just like he stepped into view between some trees, and I was like, if I got a chance at him, he's plenty big enough for me. I'm like, first bow kill, I'm like, dude, he's perfect. So that's it. I locked in kind of on him at that moment. Obviously, I didn't forget about the bigger deer, but I'm like, this one's in front of me, and I don't know where the rest of the deer went. So I'm like, let's at least get some experience, watching a particular deer. And so he beds forever. Seemed like it. Actually, wasn't too long. And he hops up and starts feeding away. So I'm like, okay, first bed is over. So I said, if I can keep tabs on him and get him in that second one, then I'm already close enough, then Mike can make this happen. So, and then there ends up being several more forkies, though. They just start like, when they start moving, and it's like, and so you're scared to take a step,
Right.
Finally, all the deer leave my view again, and I've got one more rise I can go up and over. And I'd seen a few deer go around that way before, and I just kept glassing. There's one little patch of like is in the shell rock, but above a bench, just one little patch of just little timber stuff, just little stuff. And I'm like, there's nothing in there. I burn it up with glass. I'm like, nothing in there. As I get up to the shelf below that, a buck similar in size to mine, with velvet just hanging off, just bloody mess, just freshly hanging off of him, stands up, stares at me, and then just kind of trots across the shell rock. I get an arrow knocked, and I'm like, and he's out to probably 60, 70 at this point, and he looks back but doesn't get, I didn't even draw on him because it just wasn't a good situation, and almost had time. And so I'm just like, what the crap just happened? Because I was like, I almost got it done by accident,
Yeah.
because I was like, I swear I glassed that. I mean, I looked in every hole on that. I mean, the size of my garage, a little patch, dude. And then a forky came out of it. Like a few seconds later, I started doing a little video on my phone saying, man, I just jumped a buck. I'm up here. I was in a buck bed, like stand buck beds all around me, and all jacked up that I was that close to a buck. And then a forky jumps up, and he's just right over my shoulder and just stands there. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I know.
It was
much.
just kind of so that kind of just addled me. I'm just kind of mind blown, thinking, well, I blew it. That buck's out of the country, because I saw him go way across, and I thought maybe we were above the other deer. So I go over and sit down. I just plop down in a deer bed, and I'm looking across this little avalanche chute, and I'm debating whether to go. Well, it's nothing but shale, so I'm at the end of the grass that I can walk in. So I'm like, do I make the noise to go across that and peep over to see if I see any? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna hang out right here and chill out, because I couldn't see much. I didn't have much of a vantage. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and get the adrenaline from the buck, and seeing jumping those deer and everything. It's like, just calm down a minute and have a snack. And it's like, it's starting to be, I don't know, mid morning by then. Probably 10:30, somewhere in there. I don't know. So, anyways, I'm just chilling there in this deer bed, and I look at my bow, and my grip like is hanging halfway off of it, like on the grip of my bow. And I'd already had issues like before. I've had to reglue it on. But so I was like, well, this sucks. Like, what am I gonna do?
What make bow is that?
Hoyt. Yeah.
Okay. I've had the same
RX-7.
issue with mine, by the
Yeah,
way.
the first once that first adhesive turned loose, like I got it to stick. I've tried 2 or 3 different things, and nothing seems to like hold it good. But
I picked up some between my hunts this September in Colorado and Idaho. What did I grab? It's not the RX. It's the Venom Pro 30. I think it came out like 3 years ago. Because this is like the second time it came off. I picked up like literally some JB Weld like adhesive.
Okay.
Put it on there. It's been okay so far, but it's annoying. I was curious when you said that. I was like, I wonder if it's a Hoyt.
Yeah, I've had to
know what's going on.
It held for a while the first time, and then I don't know if getting out in that weather altitude, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to think like, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. I don't understand how bows stay together like they do, though.
Yeah, true.
I mean, even taking care of it when you're on a trip like that, we're so rough on them. I don't know how it fires, But anyways, I'm looking at this grip, and I thought it felt a little loose, and I put it, for some reason, I had the like tennis racket wrap, like the bat wrap, like that I use for grip tape. I
Hmm.
don't use it on, I haven't used it on this bow at all, but I threw it in my bag for some reason and had that
No
wrap. So
way.
I'm like, 'cause I did not like that movement in that grip. I'm like, I may
No,
have to drop a
that
long
would freak
bomb or
me out.
something. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need anything in my head to make me make a bad shot. Yet before the hunt started, I was shooting in the wind some, at around 8,500 feet or somewhere. I went up to a place and shot. And dude, I was all over the place, like 40, 50 yards. I was just like, it was in my head that I could not hit anything. I was just like, you know, and so confidence is down because my shooting's just off, before the hunt. Talked to a buddy of mine and he's like, dude, it's a moment of truth. He's like, you'll go in kill mode. It's all going to be fine. I'm like, yeah, I know, but right now it sucks because it's one of those things to beat yourself up over. I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared enough for this. I don't need to be here. You start getting all that. Like I
I
didn't
know.
have enough time.
Should have
I didn't
shot
have enough
more.
time to get ready for
I
this.
know.
Yeah,
I
because
know.
obviously with back surgery and everything, I couldn't even. It was a while before even shooting felt normal. And it's still like almost like my anchor, draw, everything felt different after back surgery. It was just like I had to get comfortable behind the bow again. And
But right now, you're
anyway,
right there on these
yeah, I'm on
deer
the mountain.
in the
I'm on
hunt,
the
and you're
mountain,
like, "Good God!"
dude. So I'm like, but I did usually stuff like that would piss me off, like, or just agitate me. I was like, dude, I got that grip tape in my backpack. I'm
How
like,
about that?
so I take the grip off. I just peel the rubber one off and I just start wrapping the bear, like, cause it felt pretty good, bear riser. And I was like, but a little skinny. I was like, I'm going to wrap it. So I'm sitting there about halfway and I realize I'm like going the wrong direction because I wanted it to go a certain direction. So I back it off. I'm wrapping again and get almost halfway wrapped. And I look like just having to look up and I see this little forky. He jumps up. He's on this little ridge spine, like that gravel chute I was telling you about is like sitting kind of to my right because I'm kind of looking down the mountain would be like down this way. So I'm looking across this chute and this little spine straight across, and this forky jumps up. Well, then I just see antlers behind him. My buck nudged him and stole his bed. So he bumped him out of it. I didn't have a deer. I didn't have a clue deer was bedded that close to me, since I jumped those other two that were right on me.
I watched
And
that
I was,
multiple times in Colorado this year, watching bigger
dude.
bucks
So I
nose
was
butts
like,
out of
that
their
told me
beds.
for one, he was a little bit, mature. Like I figured he's a 3 or a 4 year old, I would think. But, that shows me he's like, okay, he's got a little bit of like boss in him. But it was cool though, cause to watch the bigger ones do that and kicked him out and just, he pawed a little bit and just flopped down. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? It's like the buck that I lost that I said I would shoot is the only deer I can see right now. Like, because the other one went on up and, got another bed. So he's just bedded, and all I can see is his rack and his nose, looking out of the brush. And I'm like, he could see me probably, but I think I'm good. So I just tried to, get. I didn't want the sun. I was trying to stay tucked under this little pine where I didn't have anything exposed in the sun. And for one, it was beating down on me because I was just sitting at 12,000 feet, man. It hurts. It's
Yeah,
like you
I
just,
know. Yeah.
dude, and the wind at times that day, man, it was just like, just relentless. At times it would be so calm. And then others just like those gusts when the thermals kick up is just nuts. It's like, I wouldn't shoot past 30 yards. I was thinking, I was like, if there was a deer here, I couldn't shoot it right now. And, but he's bedded like, so he's like 130-ish yards from me. And this is at, I think, 12 o'clock. And so I slowly finish wrapping the bow, get that taken care of. After I calmed down from like, okay, the buck's there. I was like, obviously he's going to be there a while. So now I'm trying to figure out my play. I'm like, do I go get above him? I can't where he's looking because he's going to see movement immediately. Because I'm at the end of any brush, shrubs, anything I can get in. I'm at the end of it for where I'm sitting. So I've got like a little bit of grass, like a steep grass chute that goes down to my right, and then just that shell rock that goes over to the little spine that he's on. And so I'm really like I'm just pinned, I can't go anywhere. Because it got, like I said, when it got calm, like there's no way walking on that shell. And then and even with the wind, it was just like I don't think I can make this happen. There's too much sun, there's too much like everything. I'm like, you're this close, don't screw it up. That's like you hear like Barney say it, don't stalk into failure. So I'm like, I'm hearing all these, all this advice that I've just gathered
Yeah.
over the years. It's like, you know, I'm sure like other guys are the same way. It's like almost like I've listened and consumed so much. It's like information overload almost. It's like, you know, but some of that it takes though, just to pound it because you'll get like one little tidbit from one guy or one podcast, and then, you know, you'll pull something else from another one. But it's almost like you got to pound some of that. It is repetitious stuff, man. And it's the simple stuff that just do simple stuff well. You know, there's not complicated in theory with the mule deer. It's like find them in their bed, let the thermals do their thing, go above them. It's easy as that. You
Yeah,
know, get above it, put an
it
arrow in
might
it.
look different each time,
Yeah,
but that's what you have
you
to
know,
do no
in
matter what.
theory.
So
So like
don't,
my
yeah,
situation is totally different. It's like, cause I don't, you know, I didn't have a clue. He looked into me really. I was like, I was in the area to where I should have seen him, but I just missed him as he was on his feet or bedded that second time. So, and then just happened to be, but working on my bow, I wouldn't have, I almost was going to back up and, you know, go back to where I had a better vantage as far as if they did feed out that evening, I could cover more ground from, you know, a different spot. And when that happened, it's like, well, obviously you needed to sit here for a reason. So it's like, and here's this buck. So I'm like, okay, I really want to kill him now. So it's like this, let's sit on him. Hours go by and hours, and just sitting here baking, you know, either getting wind chaffed or the sun beating down. Not even sitting on my pad, like I'm just sitting bare dirt. Thankfully, it was pretty flat, like the only flat spot on that whole mountain, I think, because it's just where deer kick out for hundreds of years, probably. Yeah, I'm sure you saw those beds. It's nuts to see, like
oh
just
yeah,
generational beds. Man,
yep,
it's so nuts to see them. And then you can tuck yourself in one and look to see it's like they're bulletproof when they're in those beds too.
see
It's like
everything. Yeah,
they got
A-
the wind, they got
and
the
what they
thermal
can't see, the
advantage, they got
wind
the side
is what they'll.
advantage.
Yep.
It's crazy. And then when they're bedded in pods like that, when there's like a cluster of them, it's like
What are you
you
gonna do?
can't. It's hard to get in on them, man.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I was saying get in on getting within a couple hundred yards is one thing, but like just hoping to get in bow range is like
I know.
it's almost impossible when you look at it. You know, it's like when you're sitting there on the side of a hill looking at these mule deer a half mile away, and you're like, you want to do that with a bow? You know, you want to kill one with a bow. So,
I
but
almost
anyway,
had to like play tricks on myself, like deep down, I'm like, I'm gonna screw this up. But you
yeah,
play tricks on yourself, like you have to tell yourself he's gonna be there. Like if you don't know he's there, or like this is gonna work, you just have to, even though it's like really. The next thing you know, dude, I popped over. My buck was feeding. I was 20 yards right on top of him.
it's
He
yeah,
bounced to 40, and then I shot him. But like I was like, I
yeah,
what? Like
yeah. I know.
yeah, yeah,
It's crazy.
it's
It's
crazy.
just it's a lot. It's like catching lightning in a bottle. It's just like the lightning strike. It's just
Yeah,
it's crazy. Right, the right time, right place. A lot of people call it luck. I'm not a fan of saying anything is lucky. I had a lot of bad luck. I will admit that. So
right.
it's like usually good luck doesn't swing my way, but obviously it was in my favor this year. But at the same time, I know how much work that I've put in. So to hear it called lucky is not like I will admit I was lucky, yes, but like there's more to it than just I just drove out there, hiked across this basin, and you know
You put
there's a
yourself in a
lot of
situation
work.
and
Yeah, it's
everything.
like
Yeah, so it's
yeah,
like. Mhm.
it's just
But go
like
ahead.
when
So
the
you had that buck though in his bed, 100 yards or so, sitting for hours, and then did you get down close to him, or he get
dude I
up?
couldn't I debated like what to do, and I was almost about to make the move when the wind got up enough and try to get above him, go across the shell, and hopefully get eyes on him. Dude, there was another buck, a small buck, maybe the one he kicked up earlier, stood up on this little knob that was across from me. So if I'd have went over there, like I'd have blew every deer there out of the country if he hadn't have stood up when he did. So there you go, some luck with that. So I just I waited him out. I was like, I'm as close as I can get. I was like, I know he's not going to come across this shell to me. He's probably going to drop, go below the shell, and there was another semi bench that's where they were going to feed. It was like there's some of that. I don't really know what it's called. It's that shrubby, you know, I call it like the buck brush, but just that real
I've been calling
green.
it buck brush. Yeah. I don't know the
They get
proper
it.
term, but
They rub their antlers in it. They eat it. They bed in it. I mean, they just. It looks like from half a mile away that it's like knee deep or ankle deep, just pretty grass almost. And then when you get in it, it's like head high freaking jungle. You know, you
My
just don't
Idaho
realize.
buck, that's what I killed him in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
don't
that's what it
realize
was.
it's
It was. I was like, I'm just gonna hike over there. Tall as my
so.
face. Yeah.
I look over and I see this hillside, this steep chute, and I'm thinking if I could just get down it a little bit and close this distance, because I'm like, I don't know, but I said, and then I'm sitting out, I'm exposed, and I don't know how long he's going to be before he stands. So I didn't even risk that. I said, if they get up, I'll make the move then. So he finally stands. There's another buck below him that's a decent, 2-year-old or something. And so he drops. So I'm like, my buck's probably going to drop too. So he starts dropping. And something told me to move. I grabbed my bow and I just start shuffling, just easing, just sideways. So I get over in the grass out of that deer bed and I just start going down like with 3 points of contact. And I'm holding my bow like this, like I'm hiding behind it, like this big blob's behind his bow. But for some reason, it worked. But so, I hold myself up and just scoop my butt just a little. You know how it is, just picking myself up, easing down,
That's
and
what
I'm
I was doing. That's what I was
inching. I
doing this
mean,
year.
just
Yep.
inching. And like a couple of times, I got busted by like this little Forky would look up and he's like, "Did that rock just move?" He's like, didn't really catch me, but he's almost like, looks different. And then they just go about their business. So I've cut maybe just a few yards off here. They're down at. I keep ranging when I can. I think where they were feeding was around 110, 115, somewhere in there. And they're feeding kind of from right to left. And I'm like, man, if they would just close the distance a little bit, because I was like, the wind had kind of calmed down. It's like, there's no wind. I'm like, I would like him inside triple digits would be nice. And I don't know why I'm even thinking this. It's like it hit me like you're about to drop a bomb. And I'm like, I was like, I want to see how close he comes. But he starts feeding around and almost like he's feeding to the edge, there's a big rock outcrop in here, so he can't go too far. I'm going to lose him, so I'm trying to inch a little bit further, and then another deer like sees me, and I just, I'm frozen, and my buck just is acting a little like, okay, I'm a little uncomfortable, I guess, because the other deer were kind of acting funny, so he disappears from my view, and I'm like, this sucks. But maybe if these deer will leave, I can back out, go catch him. I was just already thinking of the next move, like I'm going to cut him off as he feeds. And you know, the other deer start feeding again. Well, he starts coming back. So I'm like, oh, well, he's about to give me a shot, I think. So it's just like but they're getting spooky at the same time. And like, I know I'm all over the place here, but there's deer all over the place in my mind because I'm seeing like these little bucks. They're trying to look at me like I'm keeping tabs on the bigger buck, which was mine, and then this other, 2, 3-year-old buck, and they all kind of was like dispersing in different directions, and the little buck finally just hopped back across, and I was thinking I thought mine was about to go, but he's kind of still feeding, and I'm thinking, okay, the gig's about up. I'm like, I've ranged a pocket of that brush. I was like, if he's in that opening, and dude, it's triple digits plus, and I'm like, can you make that shot? And I'm like, yeah, I can make that shot. And I should not even been thinking about doing that, but it's like something in me was like, you're sending an arrow, like you're. So I'm sitting on the hillside, that it's so steep, like I'm almost feel like I'm standing up, but you're seated. You know how like just kind of almost sitting on my heels, and I'm ranging, and he turns and he's quartered away, like perfectly quartered away. Nothing in his vitals at all. Like it's almost just like, and the wind is like dead silent, like for the first time, and like for any length of time. It's just like it's go time. So I just drew my bow back, and I remember getting a full draw, and it's like this is what I love about this trip is I was so in the moment for most of the time because a lot of it, you're just kind of there. You don't even remember a lot of it. I tried to be where my feet are, is what I told myself the entire time. I was like, no matter the outcome, I said, all you talk about year round is like, just be there, like be there. So it's like, I remember so many small details, and I'm glad we're talking about it because they're coming back. It's like the coming to full draw. I remember making sure the grip's good on that tape. So it feels a little different. So I get back here and I draw kind of out, and then I'm leaning down, pitching way down, straight down the hillside, and it just didn't feel right. So I look, and on my zippered hoodie, I'm wearing like the hoodie with face mask, and like the collar, I was like, I couldn't anchor because that collar. So I come off my face. I remember doing that and tucking my collar in and pulling back to full draw because like, there's another buck I'm pretty sure looking at me at this point, and I remember just settling, like, because I dialed my tape, and I remember just like burning a hole like on that last rib, and my pen was almost covering up the entire width of him because at that distance. I just remember that last rib, and I remember pulling it, pulling it, pulling it. And it's not fire, and I'm like, you gotta go off. It's just like because I will not punch. I was like, I cannot punch this trigger.
I shoot a hinge too.
Well, it's not a hinge, but I shoot it more like I shoot a thumb button, but I
Okay,
shoot
got
it
you.
kind of
But
like I shoot a
fast
lot
tension.
like a hinge. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just waiting, and what it is, probably didn't have enough thumb pressure, but
Yeah.
man,
Okay.
I just didn't have. You think you're pulling the guts out of it, and it's just not moving at all. So I finally just kept telling myself, just go through your, just go through your shot. Man, when it finally broke, I remember because I'm looking straight down the hillside. I remember seeing the arc because I don't have lighted nocks or anything, but they're orange, and I just remember seeing that orange about halfway there was arced up, at the top of that arrow's arc, probably as it's going straight off the mountain, it's arcing. I remember seeing it in the sun, and then it just like went away from me. I lost it completely, and I just heard that. I heard that boom, almost like that's what I thought I heard, like the plunger sound that you almost hear. And but at that time, those two bucks, man, just they're making dust. Like the hill is they're just loud. Their feet are hit. They're leaving. Like, and I'm like, holy smokes, you just released an arrow on a buck, dude. I'm like, what'd you just do? It's like I remember every bit of it, but it's almost like the blackout thing. It's just like, what am I doing here? So I get my bearings. I go back up and get my pack. I'm like, I gotta at least go. Like, I'm gonna go look at the impact, see if there was impact, because I'm like, if I missed, there would be like rocks clanging. I was like, because that ground's so hard and it's so. I'm like, my arrows would be, it would be in pieces, something. It's like maybe I heard what I thought I heard. So I go down there, no arrow. I'm like, well, where's the arrow? It's like, well, on that hillside, I'm like, no tell. I'm like, it's like, I don't know. I don't find any blood. And so I always panic a little bit when it's myself anyways. If I'm looking for somebody else, I'm a bloodhound. But like when it's me, it's just like, I'm so scatterbrained. So I'm like, well, I marked the tree that they ran by last before diving off, into that more brushy stuff that's further down the mountain. I set my pack down. I remember just like I'm talking to my phone a little bit, like just trying to calm myself down to stay like not panic. I hadn't looked long, so I'm like, we'll come back and look for your arrow in a minute. We'll get on blood. It's like just calm down. Plenty of daylight left because it's like I think I shot at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So
Oh,
sat
this
on
was
him
a long day, dude.
I sat on him 6 hours, dude. Sit
Oh,
there 6 hours before almost six. I know it was 5+ before he stood up for to
I
get
think I
up.
was just under 4 on my
He
buck. I
he
sat on
moved a
mine.
couple times. He would stand up and just spin around and plop back down. So it's
Yeah.
like because every time it's awesome. You'll see them start twitching their head and their ears will
Yep.
start and they'll
Yep.
shake their back just to let it's like, dude, it's about to happen. And then they lay back down. And you're like,
Yep. Yep.
but anyways, dude, I peep around the corner. I come around this pine that I see that I'd marked, and I just look down the hillside and I see his rack staring back up at me, like less than 100 yards off the hillside, and I'm just like, "There's a deer laying there," and I'm like, "Dude, that's your deer." I'm like, "Who else's would it be?" Because they would
Right.
almost like it almost surprised me. Like, there's a rack laying there, like that. What? Whose is that? you know? And it's like,
Dude.
dude, you just killed a mule deer, and dude. I lost it after that. Like I knew I would, but dude, it was a different feeling. Like that was 6 freaking years of just every day thinking about, can I get it done? I'm gonna get it done, but can I get it done? Just, setback after setback. And there's not a day, like obviously I hunt the whitetail, I turkey hunt, I hunt something, doing something hunting related 365, but like that mule deer has been like top of that list as far as like content that I consume or just prepping for it. It's my motivation to get up for the gym when I don't want to go. Just like, I mean, and it hit me. It was, I can't describe it other than I was probably like a little baby on that hillside, dude. I was all by myself at almost 12,000 feet. I had did something finally in my life, that I said, I'm going to do that. That looked, damn near impossible. And I freaking did it. Like, it hit me that I did it. And I was like, and it's still, I'm kind of still in shock about it, really. Um, just, I don't know. You always sit around thinking what that moment's going to be like. And, man, I got pretty emotional. Like, I mean, I was like, it was in waves of like the giddy, like excitement, but like grown man crying type emotional stuff too, just because it's like, I think feeling proud of myself, or something. I've always been so hard on myself. And, that was such a lofty goal to have because I knew how hard it seemed from the outside looking in, and then to actually be in it, trying it, to the entire process is hard, you know. But I look back, like the hunt, like, but all the hard stuff that I had to go through to get to that, that was the hard stuff. The hunt was, it was just a reward, man. And it was short. Like, it was just, I would rather say I had like 8 days of grinding it out and I was packed in 10 miles. But dude, for the situation with my back, not being out in a few years, just like being rusty, if you will. Like, it's not like I'm too mountain savvy anyways. I hadn't been like hardcore into this too long, but just, I don't know. It was all a gift from God, I know, because just like what I've been through, he just, I said he sent the arrow. I would have never sent that long range of an arrow. Like, I shoot a lot. I have confidence. I have confidence in myself. But like I said, before the trip or during the trip, I was like, man, I'm shooting like crap. I can't. And dude, I shoot long range like all the time, and I'm confident, but I never would. I've lost animals before at short range, so it's like I'm not going to do anything stupid to like ruin my entire month because I make a stupid shot. But there was never a time once it came go time that I even questioned that I was not going to hit its mark. And back to that, dude, how last rib, quartering away, when I find him, the arrow is still in him, but it passed through. So that's why I didn't find my arrow. Dude came out like right here, right in front of the shoulder, like right through the chest, like blew his heart out. Like from last rib through heart, like just destroyed him. Like, just, I couldn't have, walked up to a target and put it in a better spot for that angle. Cause I mean, it's shooting straight down, it goes in just left of his spine on that last rib and then to blow out straight down. And I was like, best shot of my life. Like, I'll never, I mean, I hope I don't, I mean, I want that 30-yard feeling,
I know.
that up close and personal. But I mean, to take the long bomb like I did and to make an absolute perfect shot, like, I was blown away. I'm still blown away. And, but that, it hit me so hard what I'd done. I was like, you just did like the impossible. And, I just, for in my eyes, I don't know. And now I went from thinking I could get it done though. Now I know I can. It's like, and I know it's not going to come easy. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be hard. I mean, I'm so pumped though, just to get, I can't wait to have another tag. And it's going to be a few years before I get archery tag again, dude. And, but man, and now I can shoot, set my sights a little higher, for a little bit bigger buck or whatever. But dude, he's perfect 3x3. I wish I had him, but he's in the freezer. So it's just like, man, to most, it's just a deer, but it's so much more than that. Dude, it's just,
Dude, that's it right there. You nailed it. And I
the
just
horns
hearing,
are, side note, dude, it really is the experience. I couldn't have, if he was 180, 200 inch buck, he wouldn't have made me any more emotional in that moment. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been any easier. It wouldn't have been, or any harder. It just like, it was, I don't know. I can't describe it. I've been all over the place this whole time, but talking about that, I really am, because it's just like, you've been there, dude. When, if it's like people outside looking in, it's like going back to earlier, you're a crazy person, you know? And even it's an obsession. It's a sickness, man. It's a good one, but it really is. When it gets you, I mean, you moved. I mean, it's just like I can't describe it, man. Just being in that smelling the juniper and the sage and hearing the grasshoppers, just the clicking of the grasshoppers when they're out, when the thermals start lifting and they're floating around, and you're getting a good thermal pull because there's grasshoppers floating all around you, and just feeling the breeze on the side of your face, or the smells. It's everything. It's everything.
I love how you're telling this story, man. I think, dude, it is powerful. I was just sitting here listening, and like you can just hear how you tell the story, how much it means to you. And what's going through my mind is like, I mean, I can relate to this 100%, but like, I just think it's such a special thing we have, like this mountain hunting, where it's like you even said it, like you were just so proud of yourself. And I feel
Yeah,
like us as like in life, like especially as men, like I don't know, we have these moments, especially like when we're young kids or something, where it's like you graduate school or like you do the
yeah,
whatever, like get the touch, like you know, get the touchdown or like whatever, and it's like you have these proud moments, and like, and then a lot of people more or less are on this like same path in life, and all the other like proud moment, like starting the family, like, and that's all amazing. I mean, I haven't done like that yet, my own, but like when you find, I think that's what's special about this is like when you find something like way outside this path, like mountain
yeah.
bow hunting, and it's
Something
like
so hard.
and it's like, wait, who's doing that? What is that? What?
Hmm.
Whoa! Like, and you hear it on a podcast. Like for me, it was Aaron Snyder, and I've
Yeah,
been able to like connect with him, and it's just been so
yeah. I
awesome.
listened to
And
that one.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That was back for me, like in 2020, 2021 or whatever, when I started doing this, and I was like, hearing him talk about 10 days, 13,000 feet, spot and stock mule
it's
deer.
kind of like you don't even know that world exists. It's just
I
like
didn't,
there's guys that are
yeah,
doing that,
and I was
and it's
like, that sounds like the most elite. Like you have to be a like a woodsman, an athlete, an archer, like survive up there, like all these things. And I was like, dude, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm like, that would be the ultimate thing for me. And then over
dude.
those years between then and now, like I did some rifle hunts out west, and like I killed mule deer with my rifle, and then like elk hunted and like did those things. But I relate to you, dude, because I had the same thing. Like that high country mule deer with a bow was like, I don't know how. I mean, guys love hunting their elk, and like I like elk
Yeah,
hunting too. But like,
yeah.
there's something about that high country mule deer. You can't fake that, dude. You're either
No,
up
dude.
there packed
Yeah.
in, get like, or you're not. And I just dreamt about it so much. And then for me, so people maybe that follow Matt or listen to me the first time. So I killed a buck in high country Colorado, and I had such a similar like, I did it. Like I
Hmm.
did the thing. Like I got to my mule deer. He tumbled off a cliff. He actually broke some antler, but a lot of those same thoughts, man. I'm like, I don't care, man. Like this has been the culmination of like what I've fallen
It's
in
just
love with over the years. And I'd literally, so after September, and I'd been planning this throughout the whole year, I live in Idaho now. Like I moved because I love this stuff so much. And like I'm sitting over that buck and I'm like, it's like I did it. I'm one of those guys. Like, you know what I mean? And you
yeah. It's
always
crazy.
question like, can I do it? Like, do I have what it takes? And then when you do it, it's like, it's just so special. And then you had a good point too. When you do it, like you stay on the path, like stay
Yeah,
disciplined, the hard road. When you do it, and this is kind of how I feel now. Like now I moved out here, I know I can do it, and now it's like, well, now we're just playing with house money. Like what else is
exactly,
possible? You know what I mean?
exactly.
So it's
It's
just,
like the confidence. Like, I
yeah,
mean, just like I was pretty confident, anyways. But doing something that daunting, it's hard to actually like tell yourself like, yeah, I can get it done in the high country. Because it's not. That's not something. It's not something everybody can do or is willing to do, and it's not just survive. Like you said, surviving. I mean, whether if it's an elk woods, mule deer, I mean, just surviving out there when you're not from the West, or I know even some Western guys that like once they're away from town, I mean, that's a different story. So it's like it's the real deal. Like it's not easy. It's not fun, really. It is looking back on it. Like sometimes sitting on a hillside this year, getting pounded with like I called it hell, but sleet. Like when you're getting hit with ice in the face, hunkered on a hillside like that you can barely sit on for like 2.5 hours like, of that. Like rain suit almost wetted out. Like that's the real deal. You gotta love like you gotta want to be out there to deal with that. Like, but dude, just went back to camp, dried out, next day I killed my bull after that. So it's like you got to go through that stuff, and then there's like it's crazy the ups and downs. And you're always like I was always on the down part. It's like for years it's just like, is this gonna be my year? It's like I got so tired of maybe next year, maybe next year, and I've done that so many years with like whitetail stuff or anything in general, and like getting into the Western game like made me like so much better of a hunter. Like I'd hunted the same way for so many years, and like I don't whitetail hunt like I used to. It's like I'm more the mobile. Like the harder it is, that's what I want to do. I still got my go like sit a box blind here and there with a rifle. I still enjoy that. I love it. It's tradition. There's certain hunts where that and a cup of coffee, and you're just there to be there. It's a different mindset. But also we have hunts or travel do. Public hunts, where you're camping, grinding, like just boots on the ground all day, looking for a spot, day after day. And in some of the mountains I hunt here, even it's like you're hiking in a few miles, and you got to pack your deer. If you kill one, you're packing it out because you don't drag it out. But like it's just a whole different lifestyle just from just wanting to come out there, and then being that because it did mean that much to me. It molded me into what I am now. Like I'm not who I was several years ago. And it's such a big part of it. Like when I walked up on him, dude, it's just like, this is it. It's not, I didn't feel done, but I felt I don't know how to describe it. What a belief, what a like bittersweet too. Cause it's like, oh, I did it, and it's just like,
oh, I'm not crazy.
yeah.
Like
And
I
it's
did
just
it.
like, and it's like, this is what this feels like. And I look around and there's like zero people, nothing but mountaintops, and it's just like, I mean, like I said, almost 12,000 feet, and I'm sitting there with my buck on the hillside, and then it hits you like, oh, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, then it's like shit. Yeah,
so
yeah.
so I had a snack, and because I already was like so jacked up, so get my hands so they weren't shaking, and just deboned him right there, man. I ended up one tripping him out.
Hell yeah,
That was
man.
pretty rough. I
Look
didn't
at
know
you.
my back, dude. My surgeon probably would not have been happy with me for doing that, but he'd be happy with his work that it held up.
Yeah,
you know,
there you go.
so I put it to the test, and then, dude, got back to town, and I actually went to Walmart and bought like one of those small like apartment freezers or something, like a small little chest freezer. And because nobody had like storage, I just wanted to get my meat cool somewhere and put the head somewhere. And because my buddy had that rifle tag, so we went right back in. So I bought a freezer. I went ahead and wrapped some of my meat, like got the head in the freezer, right back in the mountains. I was out for one day.
Awesome.
So, and we were in for his buck, dude, and we got it was slow at first, like not seeing bucks where we'd usually found them, and we're actually packed in on this one too. So I actually feel like backpacking in. It's like I wasn't day hunting like on mine. I was I didn't feel cheated, but because it was perfect how it worked out. But it's like I wanted that, you want that backcountry backpacked in experience. So got it with his buck. So we got in and followed these bucks a few days, and then he ended up, dude, shot a giant. He'll probably close to 180, I think. He's a good one. So found him a big one with the
I think
rifle.
you sent
So
me that picture on Instagram
yeah,
too, didn't you? Okay,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he's a
I remember
stud,
now.
man.
It was a good buck.
Beautiful 4x4. Like it was, and to get to watch bucks that size, because we saw several, and just man, and I was like, dude, it's the house money thing, because I had my tag was filled. So dude, you're such a better hunter almost when the stress is off, like, or you can take in more. I enjoyed it. Like I wasn't like I didn't feel the push to having to do it. I was just let whatever happens, and I actually pushed him because we were sitting there glassing him that second day we picked him up, and he's glassing him, and I was like, you want to go shoot this deer? We're going to watch him all day from camp,
I know.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and he's like, he's like, you got a point. Cause he's like, he was debating. He knew how hard it was going to be to get to him. And
Yeah.
he was just debating. He was like, are we going to be able to make it happen today? It's probably one of those. He said, I'm glad you gave me that little kick. Cause I mean, we ended up getting him killed that day. So it was freaking
Nice.
awesome.
I tagged
So
out first on my trip too, and it was like you think so much more clear when it's like
Oh
pressure's
yeah,
off you, it's off your
yeah,
shoulder. And I'm sitting with my buddy. I mean, he's more experienced than I am, like no doubt. But it was like, all right, you gonna go kill that thing or what? Like,
yeah, yeah,
like what are we doing? It was just a lot more like, just thinking clear, like, and it's just fun too. And I had so much fun just being like, I am of service to you. Like,
yes,
whatever
I
you
know.
need, I'm gonna
And I was
glass
just a
for you.
sponge,
And
man.
yeah,
Just a sponge watching the
it's
deer,
fun.
learning. It was
Yeah,
awesome because my hunt wasn't over, so I got, even though my tag was filled, it was like because it was quick. I wanted to watch deer. For I'd still love to be glassing. I would love to be glassing a velvet muley right now. And I
yeah,
wish
me
that
too.
lasts all year. Like that's just the phase I'm in right now. I would hunt that hunt every week. I'd love it. It's so hard on the body and so much work, but it's like that's what I crave now. So it's just like I just love it, man.
That's
And
awesome. And dude, we're pushing here.
oh
We
yeah,
didn't even
sorry
get
about
into.
that.
You're good. You're good. We didn't even
Uh,
get into the bull. If people want to see it though, it's on your Instagram and stuff. And like, if you want to give a real quick like how that unfolded too, because that looked like a special
oh
moment
yeah,
as well.
dude, it was a short hunt, so not terrible amount to the story. I can do it real quick.
You're
We
good.
we go into a kind of a pre-planned place. We still didn't have it in stone where we were going to start. Like I said, these guys are. It's not like I'm a veteran, elk hunter. I had shot a bull before, lost him. I shot him high. Uh, that was in 21. So that was another reason I was, hell bent getting back west. It's like, man, when you get that close to getting it, like, I almost felt success and then just lost it. So anyways, we get to this trailhead. It'd been raining all day, so we kind of took longer to go than we were planning because it was like first day we're like, yeah, we're going to be in the rain and all that this entire time probably, but you just don't want to start in the rain almost kind of thing. So we gave it a couple hours and then just wait. Uh, we were in the mud like crazy, not covering near the ground that we planned to cover. I was wanting to go in further before we camped, and so we turn up. I start looking at the map. I'm like, we could hit. We're planning to hunt this. We're walking up a river. We're planning to hunt this main ridge system. So I'm like, well, we'll just get on it sooner than we planned. And if we can get through this stuff, and dude, we turn up just a death hike for half a mile or so. It's just can't even crawl through it hardly. And it's like my brother, my buddy, we're all just like, what are we doing here? And it's about to start storming again, and we're like, we just need camp. Like we just need like we're almost like screwed at this point. It's almost dark. Like we'll be okay. I wasn't panicked. I was just like, dude, this
It's just
sucks.
a
We didn't get in here
shit
soon
show.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
we finally get up to this little. See it. I'm like, there's got to be an opening on this little finger, like this little mesa. It had just like a little the short oaks and looked like a little bit of a spot. And did get up there, and it was a perfect place to camp. And I'm like, this worked out. Had camp set up before dark, before it started. It rained again, but we got set up. Like they had lifted the fire ban, so we actually gathered up enough wood and like got a little fire going. So that now that just boosts morale instantly when there's a flame. So man, we're laying there and bugles at dark and just from camp, and I'm like, crap, we're in bulls, like already in bulls. So listen to screaming bulls all night, and that's awesome. Got us jacked up because I told them I was like, this isn't normal, not in a basically over the counter unit because you had to draw it this year, but
They
like I said, it
changed it.
was a
Yeah,
set.
so it was
Yeah,
one of those though. It
yeah,
was,
yeah. It was basically it's an OTC unit pretty much. So
okay,
lots
awesome.
of lots of people. I mean, just crawling everywhere. So we think we've got this little ridge to ourselves. Like everybody's either hiking past this or they're staying above. I was like, we may be in a pocket here that because there's nowhere in that country that you can glass a lot. There's just certain maybe one little ridge to the next here or there. It's not big open country. A lot of dark timber. So I actually hear bulls the next morning, and then I get eyes on one, and dude, he's a big bull. Like for the unit we were in, he was a nice herd. He was a herd bull, 6x6. Like I know he was over 300. So it's like for where we were, I was like, that's a mega
That's a
bull. I'm
stud.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, because I was, any legal bull, and that's what any of us were like. OTC basically archery. None of us have ever killed elk. It's like legal bull, cow even. I mean, we were not opposed if it was the pack out wasn't bad. take a cow home. So it's like we stay, like, get eyes on this bull. Then we have one across from the river. We got another 6x6. It's like we're just in between all these bulls, kind of, but it's kind of hard to get to either one from the camp we're in. So I'm like, I just want to sit back, and we just kind of played it safe, just kind of watched and listened. And that evening I don't know if we saw the big one again, may have. Either way, we were still on the bulls, hear them at night. Get a little closer the next day. That's when I get in that rainstorm, because I actually made a move on the bull. That was the second day. Um, just hoping he'd come back out to feed. I was kind of going into it, not calling a lot, not, um, didn't call really at all. I'm confident maybe cow calling, calf calling, but I admit, like, I haven't bugled enough. It's one of those, it's been on the side burner because it's mule deer, everything else. It's just like I haven't put enough into it, so I'm not confident with it. But I like Barney's approach kind of too, especially on those pressured bulls. Like, if you're in them, just stay with them, let them make a mistake. Instead of me screwing this up first day, we may not find any more elk, which turned out to be the case after we were off these elk. So, um, didn't pan out after the rain stopped. Like, he didn't come back to where the cows had been feeding the last couple times we saw him. I think he was just dropped across on that north side from us. I knew where he was. It was just he didn't come out. So I was like, don't think we spooked anything. So we backed up, hiked all the way back to camp. Well, the next day he's back over there again, and I'm like, I know where he's bedding. He's got to be bedding on that. He's just going across that hillside and bedding on that, dark timber as the sun came around. I'm like, if we could get close enough, when he stands up, we'll either hit him with something, or, this evening would give because my buddy, he can bugle decent. So it's like, we might give him one like in his bubble, but I don't want to just go walk around and just do a bunch of calling. So we were just kind of throwing ideas around, going to just get close and let the evening unfold. Well, we're going down this little drainage that's kind of, I would say, a little bit of a ridge, and to go to the next ridge where he is. And the wind is just not, I'm like, we're about to blow him out before this ever starts. It was just having those thoughts. It's just like, we can't do this. It's like, let's just back up and just go up here and sit for a few hours. It's like, we can't get close to him. I was like, we just can't. And so we're sitting there, and we're like, this is a pretty bulletproof place to sit. It's like, it came up to a bench. It's the head of a drainage, and it turns into big aspen grove, but it basically benches out, like, and then there's this big, like, bowl around a steep hillside that bleeds off into the ridge where they were using this ridge. That's where we were hearing them bugle at night. That ridge, and probably that lower part of the bowl we were in. It was like, worst case, we sit here, right at dark, they may pass through. At least we can make a move then, or we know which direct, set up tomorrow, better spot. So we're sitting there, and then just up on this hill, my brother was sitting like just 10 yards from me. We were just kind of chilling together, and my buddy had stepped across looking down the other side of this ridge we were on. So he's looking at something totally different. We're just kind of chilling for the evening, listening, watching, and I hear stick break up on the hillside. And dude, it's finally 20 minutes goes by, 15, see a cow moving. Like, sweet, we got elk on us, and she's headed right off the hill coming down to us, like doing kind of what we thought they were from one direction or the other. We were kind of just going to intercept elk, but that's what the plan was. And so she's coming down, and then I thought I saw a movement, like, and as I said that, my brother's like, there's another one with her, whispers to me. I'm like, good. And then, so I'm just trying to, like, see what she's doing. And he's like, it's a bull. And that's all I needed to know. It's a bull, And I thought she was going to drop right off with us, but I think she saw me moving. I was trying to go across a log and not get bee stung at the same time, because I was sitting basically on a yellow jacket's nest that I didn't know about. We'd been there for like 30 minutes, and there was like bees going in and out of it like crazy. So I was like, I just sat there because they weren't bothering me. Don't know how I didn't get stung, but so I call him the bee's nest bull now.
Okay.
But yeah, I was moving, watching the bees, and I just, for some reason, I was like, all I did was move 5 yards. But I just felt like I needed to move 5 yards, because she started like coming down, and she just froze. Like, I don't know if she had me pinned, and she has that black face just kind of disappeared in the shadows when they're not moving. I couldn't see her at all. She's in the brush. So I'm froze on one leg, trying to cross a log, trying to not cramp up, and it seems like forever. So she finally moves again. I get stood back up, and then I see the bull come down, and he turns and goes around the hillside with her. They didn't drop with us; they just started around the bowl and kind of gonna skirt us. And I was like, oh man, there's like one opening I might could get a shot, no, and then he's 10 yards, 20 yards behind her, and I'm finally this cow steps like she's dead in front of me, and there's just huge lane, like just one spot, and she stops in it, looks our way, but just kind of keeps going. I ranged her real quick, and dude, it bounced back like 89, 92, and I was like, dude, you can send it because I just killed that mule deer.
Yeah.
Not,
It's chip shot.
90 yards, dude, and it's what when I had dialed the sight to 90, I was like, if he walks in that hole, he's dead. And I don't know why. I was like, why am I so confident at this moment? Because this is not what I'm not supposed to be that guy, I'm not him. And he's doing that bull walk and just stops. Like I didn't have to stop him. Like he stops in that lane. I remember I just came to full draw quick, and I remember like having to step back one step because there was a tree like in my way, and it lined up perfect. And I put that pin. I remember the pin went on him, and this shot didn't take long at all. It was not like the mule deer. It was not pull, pull, pull. As soon as that pin settled, it was just like when it broke, and man, it smacked him, and because there's there's delays. Like my brother said, it's like he heard like the trigger click when a shot fired, and he said it's like pow, it is that delay, and
yeah.
They were like, holy crap, you just shot. Because my other buddy saw me draw. He was turned around looking at this time. And he comes running over. And he's like, you just shot? And I was like, oh, yeah, I did. Because they didn't think I was going to like turn. They thought I was just drawing back. They didn't think I was actually going to shoot, I guess. And I was like, I don't know what told me to. But like something is just like, dude, you're drilling him. Of course, though, doubt set in. I was like, you idiot. That was a long shot. I was like, that's 90 freaking yards on an elk, and I lost an elk at like 30 because he came into 18 and jumped back, and I just hit him high, and I was like, dude, you got to hit an elk. I tell everybody, it's like you got to hit him perfect. Like there's just because he's big, you can't clip his toenail and him die. It's not, you can't single lung him. I was like, you got to freaking put it in the moneymaker.
Big target, but they're tough.
Oh yeah, so tough. But the shot sounded so good. It was so loud. I mean, like so loud, but it wasn't a bone crack. So I was like, that was not shoulder. And I was like, and it didn't have that hollow, like gut, that goosh sound. And I was like, so confident that they heard it too. And looking back, I heard him roar as well. He did that like death roar, but it was in the direction that he ran. But it was also, we saw cattle that evening, like just free range, grazing. They're all in the thick stuff. And like, that's where we'd been getting water. And it was just so much going on too. I didn't even register that was him, but looking back, I did hear him do it. So I knew an arrow was in him because they confirmed what I heard. Like, dude, you smacked him hard. And I was like, okay. So we go to camp. It's dark at this point because there's 10 minutes of light left when I shot him. I mean, pin still had a pin for the yardage, but a few more minutes is no go. And we go to camp, eat a little bit, hike back, and dude, I go up there, can't find the arrow because it's like impossible. Like, just didn't know if I got to pass through or anything anyway. So it's like at that distance, I didn't expect to pass through. Found blood pretty quick, and it was just as fast as we could crawl through the stuff, we were staying on blood. And a little less than 100 yards, dude, he's right there at the end of the blood trail, and I'm just like, I just killed an elk too. I mean, and lost it again. Not emotional this time, just just fired up, man. It's unreal. And to walk up on, like, I've been with buddies and stuff on elk, like I'd seen them on the ground, but it's still like, it's such a big animal to walk up on. And the way he didn't fall, like, he tried to go over some deadfall. It's like this crisscross, like aspen logs. He's like, he was going to go over them. I'll have to send you some pics. Like, and he just laid like draped over them. Like his back legs were almost still in like run position. And so he was just laying on his belly. So I had to crawl up in these logs, like to get up on him and get behind him, which actually made it nice cutting him up because we didn't have to bend over as far. So we almost had like a tabletop we were working on.
Yeah.
So, and I absolutely drilled him. Like, I mean, again, I didn't think I would ever top the mule deer shot, but I almost did with the elk because, and pass through, both sides just blew out, man. Just unreal shot. And I don't plan on ever doing it again. I don't want to think that, oh, I've shot them this far and I can, because I know guys hear that and I'll get so much grief for, why would you shoot that far, all that. And it's like, most of the guys, though, that complain about people that shoot that far aren't confident at 30 yards. So it's like, I know where my practice, I know where my skill level is, and I try to even, I'm conservative with that. The furthest I've ever shot a deer was like 42 yards. And that was like, most of my whitetails are 25 in, it's like most of any bow kill is. And that's where I want it. And I proved too, I was like, I guess I can drop the long bow so I technically haven't had bow hunts still. Like I still like I've got to I got to get them a little closer in range on the next one.
No, dude, you got them. I've dropped some bombs too, and I think there's something too just about the open country west that
And you
something
got to be
about it.
confident
Like
shooting a decent
yeah,
ways.
you got to.
It's like, I
And like
mean,
you
I was
said,
prepared.
when you're practicing that too, and but a lot of time the grief you'll get, it's from guys that struggle at 30, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. You'd say that.
And I'm sure I will screw up again. It's not if, it's when we're going to screw up as a bow hunter. I mean, or any type of hunter. And we try to minimize that. But man, the confidence is high right now. Whitetail's kicking my butt, but I'm confident, and just I know things will happen. And I'm not pressured because it's like I got meat, and that's something else, man. The elk it's got to be on the menu every year. It's
It's
like
best.
when I'm
That's
elk
why I'm
hunting, I say
killing
there's no
myself
place.
trying to get this cow. I have this
Oh, dude,
late
you got to
cow
get the cow.
tag, and I'm like, I have to get this meat. I
Oh,
know.
it's so
Yeah,
good, dude.
I
So
know.
good.
I
And
killed a cow last year with my bow.
and it's nothing better.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
so good.
steaks, the burger, it's all
Yeah,
good. I haven't had any of the muley yet. I'm about to get started on cutting some of that
there you
up.
go.
So it'll probably be a lot of grind though, because I don't think it's going to be better than the elk.
I think elk tastes better than
Yeah,
mule deer, in my
elk's
opinion.
pretty much top, other than moose.
I have yet to have moose, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've had some from a friend, and it's pretty crazy. It's
Yeah.
good, but man, the elk, and being mine, it tastes pretty sweet. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and to
That's when
get
it's the
both of them in
best.
the same year, I hate I kept you so long, dude. It's just I was all over the place, but it's been a
No, you're
whirlwind
good.
of a year, and it's one of those. It's just keep going. You got to go. Anybody thinking about wanting to go, it's just the hardest part is actually just getting in the truck and just go and figure it out when you get there. You can information overload. You can. I mean, you do need to be prepared. Like living out there is no joke. You got to think that's something, a lot of people take for granted that don't, either aren't traveling far or don't live in the east going west. It's like there's more to it than just going on another hunt. It's like it's not backyard. It's like you got to make sure your vehicle's good. You got to have all the possibles. It's like I don't want to use any of that stuff, but I'm probably over prepared for a lot of things and under prepared for others. But it's definitely doable. You do your homework
Yep.
and put in a lot
That's
of
all.
work. And you
That's
just
all.
got to want it. You just got to want it. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to make it, it's got to be priority. I mean, it really does. Whether if it's from the fitness standpoint, the getting your gear standpoint, it's just, there's so much to it. We could talk for hours on that stuff.
I know. Dude, when I saw you then post, you sent me the muley pic, and then when I saw you post about the bull, I was just like, dude, yeah,
Dream season,
you're a
dude.
stud. You're a stud. This
Dream
is awesome.
season. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, it's a lot of people these days. You won't stick with something for 6 days. Like mine has been 6 years of just
Right.
grinding every day, and to get both of them this year is just like I still don't feel like I deserve that, but it's like I will take it, and I'm loving it. Like it's like, and I started with they're good animals, and they were perfect for me. It's like I didn't think I deserved to be on. I'm not a 300 class just walking my lap. I don't deserve that yet. So it's like I want to earn it. So, but I'm glad I got a little bit of a win finally. It's nice to win sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like I've been on the downside for so long, man. It does feel good to win for one.
It is, brother. It is. And before we wrap up, that's just kind of what I want to end it with too. It's like a lot of people, they just want to hunt the West, or they just want to get in better shape or just get fit, and they just have this long road and all these things. They look at, I think your story is so powerful, this culmination of not days, weeks, months, years of starting at, I mean, everybody has their own level zero. I'd say your level zero was pretty it
Yeah.
was pretty low, brother.
Yeah. I was
And then
negative almost.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
but you were sitting
Excuse me.
there dreaming about these things that you're doing now, like the September that you had now, and
Dude.
going from that level to now. What could you tell somebody that might relate, but they're in that kind of level zero with the big dreams, but they just feel like Matt, I heard you say, the diet and the 5K a day and it takes time, all these things, but like, what's the secret? What's the magic? Like, what's the supplement? Like, what's the training plan? Like, what do I got to do? I can't figure it out. What would you tell them?
It's ooh, there's a lot to pack up and on that. Um, just you can't quit. I mean, it's cliche, but you just gotta keep moving. There's so many days, dude. I would say I'm done, or I'm quitting this, or this is not for me, or I don't belong here. But I would always like get right back at it. I was negative self-talk bad, which I've got a little better about, but it almost takes that to motivate me. That like piece of trash, you got to do it, and then I'll congratulate myself for a second, and then it's like back to the grind. But just discipline. If you want it bad enough, you will attain it. You will. Like it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes, and then you get it almost in your grasp, and then here comes your hamstring gets blown out, or you got to have a back surgery, or a broke foot, or you know, I had surgery on both hands during one of those years. I didn't talk about that. Like I was in double cast. Like it just and it ran. I was running in cast with my daughter at a run for her school. I was
Love
like,
it.
I just did it. I just and coming from somebody that didn't. It's like I wanted to earn something, and there's nothing more gratifying, I don't think, than doing it. It's not for everybody, and it's not that they. I'm for all types of the hunting as long as it's legal, but just like I wanted to do it the hard way. I didn't want my hand held. I could have spent probably less money in the long run and a lot less time to have just went with a guide or something. And that's fine. I would still love to go on to a good place sometime. But, there's different types of that as well. It's like some of those guided hunts, what are you really learning though? It's like some of the guys are good with guys and they actually teach you why they're doing stuff and you can learn a lot. But some of it's just like, okay, we're going to walk out here and I'll tell you when we to start to hold your head up, kind of thing. And then I just, doing it the hard way, I don't know, it's so gratifying. And it's crazy in a way. They're crazy people. Like there's easier ways to do this, but I don't think it would feel better though, man. It's just, I don't want to do it another way. Not now that I can get it done. I just, man, I'm looking forward to the next few years for sure, but I just hope we can get the tags,
There you go.
you know.
Get the tags,
But
but
yeah,
then
I got off track again. It's just one
you're
of
good.
those you just gotta love it. Like
Just gotta
you
love it.
really
Just gotta do it.
it's gotta be what you're about. You can't just talk about it. You gotta be about it. It's just like I said, you can't post that you're gonna do it, and you just keep saying that, or I have a lot of people call and ask questions for a little bit, or they'll do it. I'm like, the main thing, you gotta just go. Like, quit talking and go. Like, it's and it's not. I mean, it is harder for some than others, but if you prioritize it, no matter, I don't think what stage of life you're in, it might not be an every year thing, or it might not even be an elk hunt or a mule deer hunt. It might be some other type something or whatever. It might not even be a hunt, but if it's something you really want to do, it's just like how bad. I mean, I 180 my entire life, like, and that's how I leveraged it. Obviously, it was the family, my personal health for one, but it's like you know nothing. I won't want to put anything in front of like my daughter or my wife, and we've got one on the way actually now, so we have a new one
Nice,
in
dude.
February, new
Nice.
baby in
Congrats.
February. So it's like and just my family, but like I'd be lying if I didn't say that like the hunting part is what really got me out of bed every morning. It was like you've got to have something that you enjoy personally, I think, as a goal. And as long as you're not taking away from others to do that, but my wife will even say it's like I'm a better person because of having that desire, because the discipline that I've got now, or and to sometimes it's probably a detriment or gets on her nerves or whatever, but it's like it's just I don't know. How you do one thing's how you do everything. It turns into that. It's just like the more disciplined you are as, a hunter, it's going to make you better at work, hopefully, unless you're like me and you just think about hunting and you can't get work done.
Right.
But you
No,
know
I
what I'm
know what you
saying?
mean.
It's
Though
just,
I know
it's
what you mean.
just,
That's it.
it boils down to everything. It's like your runs, your workouts, it's all not just one thing. It's finally all just culminates, and you've got to just build your own system. And it's like I've kind of bounced and did things or diets and thinking about different styles even of hunting, and it's just like you'll finally just take a little bit from here and there and do how you want to do it, and just do it well, and just go and figure it out.
Just
I don't
stick
know.
with
It's
it.
I'm just rambling, but
No,
it's
that's it,
tough.
man. But it's that
It's
straightforward.
yeah.
It's simple. It's
We
simple. It's not easy.
overcomplicate it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. We overcomplicate it. It's really cut dry. If the secret is the pill, the magic pill is it's work is what it
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah.
just you just gotta go and do. But it's easy to say. It's really hard to do it, especially at 4 a.m. when it's raining or and you got to go get that run in or that lift in, and it's just you just got to want it. And right now, I just see me wanting it more and more. I love it, man. I can't wait to get almost back in training phase where I can start building again, because I've just been climbing out of the hole trying to maintain, and I've put on a little bit of weight, and my lungs aren't quite there. I held up good in Colorado, so I can't complain, but I'm obviously a lot better shape than I was in this time last year as far as health. So I'm hoping I got all this rebuild done. I can see where it takes me in the next couple of years. As
There
long
you
as I
go,
can stay
dude.
on my feet, we'll be good. So
Well, I'm
sorry
excited to
for
watch
rambling.
it. And
Uh,
we'll wrap it up though. What's your Instagram? If people want to follow along or maybe
uh,
reach out.
I guess it's is it Mountain Matt P? I think there's an underscore in there.
I think so.
Yeah, Mountain
Well, I'll
Matt
have
P.
you tagged in this, so don't worry.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Yeah, you're good. You're
And
good.
I'm on Facebook too, but like I'm never on there. I got an
I
account,
hear
but
you.
that's a marketplace thing. Instagram mainly. So
Yeah,
I'm sorry I rambled.
you're
But man,
good. You're good.
I could
This was
talk all
great.
day about muley, and we had so much to cover too. That's a lot of years to cover and squeeze into the same little time frame. So
I know.
enjoyed it, dude. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. One of these days, I'm gonna just call you on the side, just selfishly, and we can talk more about mule deer.
Dude, anytime, dude. Well,
All right.
we'll make it work.
All
Be a
right,
little
man.
less hectic after deer season. So
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Good luck with the whitetails. Dude, not only do I love to talk about hunting, but I love just the talking about the constantly getting better every day.
Yeah. I'd love
Guys,
to talk again more about that. So
yeah.
getting back
Matt
into that.
here. Matt here's did a 180 and had a awesome September to show for it. So love it. Love it, dude. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll let you go. Everybody, thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the next one. All right. See ya. Hey, if you liked that episode, please share it with a friend, share it on your story, and give the podcast a rating and a review on wherever you listen. For more of this type of content, you can head over to the YouTube channel and follow along on all the social platforms. Really appreciate it. See you on the mountain.